Namaskara. This is BT Shetty, Chairman, Bangalore branch of SARC of ICI. Hearty welcome to Janarjane, Empowering Excellence. Today, under that banner, today we are hosting workshop on cooperative audit. It's a 3 days program. Today is the day 1. Friends, we are really fortunate to have CA Shivakumar, CAH Shivakumar, popularly known as Excel Shivakumar, because he has done a lot of work in Excel, an expert in MS Excel. So he joined us as a chief guest for this workshop. To inaugurate this workshop, we have with us CAH Shivakumar. Friends, Shivakumar has done a wonderful job, particularly in cooperative audit. He has drafted audit report and all the audit requirements in Kannada. That is the reason we invited him, because his knowledge in cooperative audit is immense. He has contributed a lot in cooperative audit and helped a lot of members to do a quality audit in under cooperative sector. In that regard, we considered him is the best suited person to chief guest for this inaugurate this workshop. Hearty welcome to C. Shivakumar. Hearty welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, friends, to other experts to enlighten us on this cooperative audit is CA Umesh Bolmal sir from Belgaum. He is an expert. He always there for this cooperative audit workshops, seminars, and conferences. He is always there to help us whenever we invited him. He readily accepts our invite, even though he's busy in his various other activities. Still, he accepts Bangalore branch invite. Hearty welcome to Umesh sir. Our another expert and always helpful to us is CA Raveendranath from Sagar. CA BV Raveendranath from Sagar. He's an expert in cooperative audit. He also done a wonderful job in cooperative audit, various seminars, conferences, workshops. He regularly contributes for this cooperative audit and cooperative issues. He is an expert to enlighten us in all these 3 days. Hearty welcome to Raveendranath sir. Friends, you are the reason for this workshop. Whenever Bangalore branch announces programs, you overwhelmingly respond, register, and participate in all the programs of Bangalore branch. Hearty welcome to each one of you. Hearty welcome. So this is a 3 days program. Cooperative is an important sector. As a chartered accountants, we take up all the assurance and audit practices. It is our responsibility. Cooperative stakeholders are numerous. We need to do the best of the best audits and meet the expectation of stakeholders. Friends, there are so many failures also. That is the reason we conducting this workshop instead of one-day program. Let us understand in detail the nitty-gritty of the cooperative audit and the expectations of from all the members or the stakeholders. The stakeholders are innumerous, and because each cooperative society or a bank having thousands of members, they are the depositors, they are the pygmy depositors or the term depositors, and many loanees, so many members, all their stakes involved in that, including the government and the other departments. We are really answerable when the cooperative or a society or a bank fails. So many people hurt. They every year see our audit report. When our audit report says it is true and fair, a cooperative society or a bank is healthy, it should be healthy. Otherwise, it's a problem, friends. It is a problem for the whole number of people. That is what happened since last couple of years. That is the reason we need to awake. We need to do the quality audit. If something is wrong, it is wrong. We cannot compromise in that. In that regard, let us understand the cooperative audit in detail. If you have any queries in that, please post your queries in the chat box. The experts will answer. Even post workshop also, there are various experts are ready to help you answer your queries. Please take their email IDs, their contact numbers. Please contact them. Make the best of the best audit, and so that we need to uphold our credibility. That is also important. Otherwise, we fail. It is each individual members, whoever is taking the audit and assurance practice, needs to give the importance for that and do the best of the best audit, and nobody should finger point us. We need to give the quality audit and meet the expectation of our stakeholders. That is the reason this workshop we are conducting for 3 days. If you want more workshop, please send me a message or a mail. We will conduct one more session. Probably the cooperative audit will start next month or in the month of July because of pandemic. If you require one more sessions, we are ready to host for you. Maybe for minimum fees. And all these things are recorded, available in Bangalore branch website. Anytime you can download and see that and learn more and do quality job. With that note, I'll take one more minute of yours to explain the other programs of Bangalore branch. Currently, we are running the income tax workshop of 18 days. The first module or 3 days of workshop is over. Remaining 5 modules are still available for registration. Please visit bangalore.ica.org and register for those modules so you can learn lot many things in under income tax. In addition to that, 2 more workshops are going to come. One is the how to become a business consultant or business advisor. So please visit Bangalore ICI.org. It is going to be on 18th of May. It's a 1-day, half-a-day seminar. It's for 3 hours of learning. The expert CA Sanjay Dariwal is going to impart his knowledge how to become consultant or business advisor. Please register for that. In addition to that, 4 days workshop on wealth management. 4 days workshop on wealth management is going to happen from 24th, 25th, 31st and 1st of June. It is going to be a virtual again. The 2 expert speakers are going to impart their knowledge for all of us. It's a lucrative area. CS can look into that. It's a new areas of practice available for chartered accountants. So you can master in that. You can learn how to become a wealth manager. The HNI's numbers are increasing in Bangalore. CS can look into that. And CS to step into such lucrative practice instead of concentrating only this traditional practice. Traditional practice is slowly diminishing because of automation and various initiatives of Government of India under ease of doing business. So self-compliance is going to be the order. So auditor needs to look into other areas of practice where we can add value and make a good practice under that. In that regard, Bangalore branch is conducting good number of new areas of practice workshops. Kindly visit Bangalore branch website bangalore.ici.org and look for all these new areas of practice workshops. Kindly register that and learn. If you want any other areas, please send us a mail so we can look into that and organize learning sessions under that too. With that note, once again, hearty welcome to each one of you. Hearty welcome to our chief guest again. So with that note, let me hand over the session to Divya. Over to Divya.
Thank you, Chairman. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much. Hearty welcome to all the members who are attending the program virtually on behalf of Bangalore branch of SARC of ICI. Hearty welcome to all the dignitaries who have taken time out of their hectic schedule and joined us. I take this privilege to give a brief introduction about our today's chief guest and two eminent speakers. We have chief guest as well as CA Head Shivakumar, chartered accountant by profession. He's member of ICA since 1986. He's also an information systems auditor of ICA of India. Head Shivakumar is practicing in the areas of accounting, auditing, and taxation. He's familiar in CA professional circle for his passion in using computers in accounting and auditing with special reference to MS Excel. He leads workshop and seminars to teach MS Excel to chartered accountants and students. He is also faculty for course on forensic audit and fraud detection. He has published many articles leading in newspapers and professional journals on the topic of professional interest. He is member of Bombay Chartered Accountant Society, Computer Society of India. Regularly, he is conceptualized a new accounting methodology in spreadsheet, where entire financial accounting from subsidiary books to the trial balance and general ledger can be generated in Excel sheet. This methodology of financial accounting in spreadsheet is called FAIS. With this very brief introduction, I welcome you on behalf of Bangalore Branch for today's program as a chief guest. Thank you for accepting our invitation and coming forward. To give brief introduction about our eminent speaker, CA Umesh Bolmal, passed BCom final examination in the year 1972 in first class, first rank to Karnataka University, Dharwad. Awarded the gold medal by Karnataka University, Dharwad for having secured the highest number of marks in BCom. He has also won state award as the best student of Karnataka state in the year 1968 and also in the year 1972. Worked as chairman of Belgaum branch of SIRC of ICI for the year 1986 to 87. Elected to SIRC of ICI for the term 1995 to 98. Elected as treasurer of SICASA for the year 1995 to 96. He was also nominated by RBI as a member of TAF Cup Committee of RBI, which monitors the working of cooperative banks in Karnataka. He has presented technical papers in various seminars organized by SIRC, Bangalore Branch, Udupi, and many other chapters of Institute. With this brief introduction, I welcome you also on behalf of Bangalore Branch for the program, sir. Members, we also have a very eminent speaker with the CABV Raveendranath, sir. He qualified chartered accountancy in the year 1989. Since then, he is into practice. He's been a rank holder in BCom from Bangalore University. He has successfully completed ESA and GRM courses conducted by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He has successfully completed certification course on cooperatives conducted by ICI. He has been auditor, financial advisor, management consultant, member of advisory committees to many government departments, local authorities, banks, financial institutions, cooperatives, NGOs, trust societies, etc. He has been a resource person for many institutions and has delivered lectures on various topics in various parts of our state. And he was also professional member of Zonal Advisory Board, South Central Zone of LIC of India. And he was also professional director of Sri Ganapati Urban Cooperative Bank, Sagar. He is the founder president of Suvidha Supermarket, a supermarket under cooperative system with the state-of-art of facilities. He is also founder president of Sagar Chamber of Commerce and Industries. With this very brief introduction, I welcome you also for today's program. So hearty welcome to you, sir.
Yes, now I request our chief guest to address us. Namaskara.
So I'm meeting after a long time Raveendranath and Bolmal on virtual basis. I'm meeting all of you virtually on a real regrettable situation where the circumstances around us are not encouraging. We are living in a very dismal state of health around us. So it is a very difficult for us to foresee the future around us. It's a very regrettable state. So at this point of time, when I got a call from British IT to take part in this webinar, I refused to accept this invitation, saying that I can't participate in the webinar at this kind of situation. That too, calling me as a chief guest is not a correct way, because people are in trouble and we cannot glorify ourselves to become chief guest of the event at this time. Somehow it's a call from the institute and it is my duty to honor it. So I requested him, don't call me a chief guest, I will come and participate like any other participant. And I don't want to claim myself as a chief guest of our own institute. And that too in this situation around us. So I humbly clarify that don't want to be chief guest of this event. So this event is a good event. I am participating as a participant and I just initiate the talk on cooperative audit. This is a subject of a lot of relevance to chartered accountants since long time. It is very, very heartening to note that all of our colleagues, while doing bank audit, they got infected and still they are suffering. And we don't know how we will handle the audit session in the coming months like June, July, August. So this is a very strange state of affairs. Anyway, we have to go ahead. Actually, the 30th April was the date given by the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act to prepare the financial statements and present it to the auditors. That was the statutory, with corona or without corona, statutory due date is always there. Statutory due date was the 30th April of the cooperative year to prepare and present the financial statements to the auditors. And auditors should take forward the financial statements for further audit. This was the statutory deadline. The words used in the Cooperative Act, both in Savarda and Old Act, the society has to prepare and present the financial statement to the auditors. It is not mere preparation and keeping it with the society. It is preparation and presenting it to the auditors for further audit. So that is the responsibility of the society to prepare and present the financial statements, pre-audited financial statements to the auditors. At that point of time, we are starting this discussion. That is how that particular point is very relevant for discussion. When it comes to cooperative audit, it is a very different type of audit. So suppose if we compare this particular audit with companies audit or tax audit, with which we are always familiar since so many decades, this cooperative audit is not any other audit like company audit or tax audit. It is a little different type of audit. A different type of mindset is required to handle cooperative audit. That is where we need a focused attention on how to handle cooperative audits. To start this topic, I would like to take the genesis from Section 4 of the Cooperative Societies Act, which talks about, it is like a charging section under Income Tax Act. Charging sections are very, very important to charge tax. Like that, Section 4 of the Cooperative Societies Act is very important, which talks about societies to be registered. Which are the societies to be registered? The proviso to the Section 4 says the societies which are not likely to be economically unsound or not to be registered. It says societies which are likely to be economically not sound or not to be registered. Therefore, all societies which are registered, all societies which are to be registered are meant for economical soundness. They are not supposed to make losses. Suppose if we register a private limited company, ROC will not ask whether you are going to make profit or loss out of this business. If you register a partnership firm, the registering authority will not ask whether you do profit or loss in this business. Whereas in this particular segment, cooperative society, the Section 4 says if the object of the formation of the society is likely to register result in economic unsoundness, then he will not allow the society to be registered. So, as an auditor, we are going to be the auditor of that entity which is meant only to make profits. Which is meant only to make profits. That is the mindset required before approaching the audit of cooperative societies. It is not like any other audit. Suppose under the this is common for both Savarda and Old Act. Savarda and Asavarda. I would like to call like that. Savarda means Savarda Act. Asavarda means that Asavarda means Old Act. 1957 Act. Because Savarda is the recent act. The old act is an old act which is administered by the department officials. Savarda Act is administered by the almost like a politicians, Savarda activists, cooperators. They operate the Savarda Act. That's why it is called Savarda Act. The old act is Savarda Act. It is administered by officials. Under both the act, the objective is the same. Section 4 is same. Even section number is same. The society has to be a profit-oriented society. That's why Section 11 registration is not permitted under Income Tax Act. Section, we have to go to the 80P only to claim the tax deduction. Not under Section 11 also. Cooperative societies are not charitable societies. Cooperative societies are meant only to make profits. So with this objective, the auditor has to approach the cooperative audits. In the this is very much established in the reporting format also. In the last part of the reporting, the cooperative auditor is expected to analyze the profit made by the cooperative society. In under Companies Act, we don't go to make analysis of the profit, how company made profit. Only true and fair view is to be certified by the company's auditor. Under the tax audit, if there is a loss, we have to verify whether the loss is computed as per the provisions of the Income Tax Act. If the profit is there, whether the profit is computed as per the provisions of the Income Tax Act. That is the objective of the audit. Whereas under the Cooperative Act, if there is the loss incurred by the cooperative society, the auditor is expected to make detailed analysis of why there was a loss incurred by the cooperative society. He cannot just make that X amount of the loss is incurred by the cooperative society and leave it. As in the last stage of the audit report, we are expected to make detailed analysis of why there is a loss made by the cooperative society, and in certain circumstances, if there is a loss is not acceptable, loss is out of the intentional loss made by the management, we are supposed to make the concerned person responsible and name them as the people responsible for the loss. This is the extent of responsibility we are having under the Cooperative Societies Act. Not only the loss, if there is a reduction in the profit when compared to the previous year, we are also expected to explain in our audit report why there is a reduction in the loss when compared to the last year. So both profit, loss, everything has to be analyzed, and it is to be reported as a part of our report, which is not there in any other audit. In any other audit, it is only a reporting of profit or loss, whereas under the Cooperative Societies Act, it's a detailed analysis of why there is a profit, why there is a loss, and what made them to incur the loss. Another unique feature of cooperative audit is, just because I am a chartered accountant, just because you are a chartered accountant, you cannot get into the audit of cooperative societies. Under the Companies Act, just because I am a chartered accountant, qualified, having certificate of practice, you can accept the audit under the Companies Act, can accept the audit under the tax audit, and you can do the test function. Whereas under the cooperative law, just because you are a chartered accountant, you cannot accept the cooperative audit. First, you have to get empaneled with the department. Then only you will be qualified to accept the audit of the cooperative society. This is not the direction of the cooperative audit department. This is specified in the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution amendment said, though auditing and auditing firms are to be empaneled with the proper empaneling authority, and then they have to get into the audit of cooperative societies. So this is a constitutional requirement. In addition to being a chartered accountant, he has to get empaneled with the competent authority, which is Director of Cooperative Audit. So it is not an automatic qualification to become the auditor of cooperative societies. It's a constitutional requirement. So by accepting, so you have to apply for the panel. Once we become a chartered accountant, 3 years is the procedure, 3 years there is a gap, and then we'll apply for becoming a auditor of cooperative society. So once we apply, they will empanel us subject to the terms and conditions. By applying and getting it paneled to the cooperative audit department, the chartered accountant is going to accept the multiple roles under the Cooperative Act. It is not the mere role of an auditor of this cooperative society. I'm telling you, these are multiple roles to be played by a chartered accountant. What are those roles? One is statutory auditor. This is straight. Statutory auditor has to be appointed by the AGM. It cannot be appointed by the board, just like that we get appointed under tax audit or other audit modalities. It has to be appointed by the board, by the AGM, and there is a formality to be followed. And once the statutory auditor is appointed, we carry out the regular statutory audit. Yes, in addition to the long report, almost similar to the CARO what we give under the Companies Act, there is a long form audit report specified by the Cooperative Audit Department, which we have to give. SA 700 and audit report as per our CA Institute requirement, followed by the long form audit report that we have to render. This is the statutory auditor, the responsibility of the statutory auditor, and statutory auditor is expected to certify the true and fair view of the financial statements prepared by the society. This is the role of the statutory auditor. There is one more role. By accepting it, by applying for the panel, the chartered accountant is accepting the another role. Another role is a internal auditor of the cooperative society. Actually, internal auditor of the cooperative society, unlike cooperative Companies Act, there is no mention in the Act, the Cooperative Act, about the internal audit. But the management of the cooperative societies appoint the internal auditor, generally who are empaneled within the department. To become an internal auditor, they specify he should have been empaneled with the department. And the cooperative banks will also appoint the internal auditors as per the direction given by the RBI. So the very important point when it comes to internal audit is, the internal auditor is also having the lot of responsibility as that of statutory auditor. It is not mere doing some watching audit and giving some periodical report, and finally some chartered accountant who is a statutory auditor, he will give the report and my role is limited. No, there is nothing like that. As an internal auditor, a chartered accountant is also having the similar responsibility of that of a statutory auditor. So there are instances where the internal auditor has done the audit, and after the internal audit is over, the fraud is detected during statutory audit or during inspection by the department, and the same thing was not brought out by the internal auditor in his report. There are cases that was construed as a misconduct by the internal auditor, and internal auditor was removed from the panel of the department, and the legal action was also initiated against the internal auditor. There are instances in the department. So it is accepting the internal auditor under the Cooperative Act is also not a small job. It is as responsible as that of statutory auditor. So chartered accountant has to accept the similar responsibility of statutory audit under an internal audit of the cooperative societies also. There is another role. It is a very, very important role. Many chartered accountants may not realize that this is their role. Another role is the role of, while doing the statutory audit, the chartered accountant is expected to play the role of a company secretary. The role of a company secretary, I'll tell you, is to verify the cooperative governance. May not be in small societies, in big societies it is very important. Auditor is expected to certify the cooperative governance in his report. Just as in listed companies, statutory auditors will certify the corporate governance of the company. Here in cooperative societies, the auditor is expected to certify the cooperative governance of the society. Then he is expected to do this audit of share capital. How many shareholders were there? How many shareholders are added during the year? How many shareholders withdraw their share capital? What is the closing balance of the share capital, both by number and the amount, or whether the admission of the nominal shareholders, regular shareholders, associate shareholders, is it as per the provisions of the Act? The audit of share capital is very, very important under the Cooperative Act, especially under this complicated interpretation of Section 80P, where nominal membership, regular membership, associate membership was dragged into courts by Income Tax Department. The audit of share capital has become very, very important in cooperative societies. And also, when you go to reporting format, in a particular stage of the report, we are expected to report as a chartered accountant the report on management and staff of the society. We are supposed to report the meetings attended by the directors, the annual general body meeting modalities, and the functioning of the board and subcommittees. We are supposed to report the transactions of directors and interested parties with their relatives. And also, we are supposed to verify and report on transactions with the staff, their training, their methodology of appointing them, and their involvement in the day-to-day activities of the society. All these things are to be reported, officially reported in the audit report of the audit statutory auditor. So we have to literally do the work of a company secretary so far as the cooperative governance is concerned. This is one of the another role. These are the multiple roles a chartered accountant is expected to play under the cooperative audit. Whereas in company tax, there is a separate secretarial audit, there is a separate company secretary. He will take care of this, all those aspects. And statutory auditor can take the copy of the report, secretarial audit report, and form an opinion on that particular aspect and close it. Whereas under Cooperative Societies Act, statutory auditor is expected to play the role of a company secretary also, especially in state level federations and big cooperative societies. We have to thoroughly verify the cooperative governance of the society so that it will be having a lot of impact on the financial statements, and more number of audit qualifications can come up only by verification of the cooperative governance. Especially, auditor has to sit and read all the minutes of the board meetings, and minutes of the board meetings will be having a lot of impact on the financial statements of the society, which is very, very important. So coming to another role, why I'm telling all these things is we are doing the audit of Cooperative Societies Act just like any other audit, and ignoring a lot of internal things involved in the societies, particularly this sector. That is how, of late, the audit by chartered accountants is being degraded, that we are not giving that much importance to cooperative audit as we give importance to company audit and tax audit. And there's a common complaint by the department that required focus is not being given by the chartered accountants on this cooperative audit. That's why I'm highlighting all the importance of how a chartered accountant should get involved to bring out the quality in the audit report of cooperative society. Another role in case of another role is of a cost accountant. Chartered accountant, company secretary, next is cost accountant. Suppose if you go to audit of sugar factories, the audit of spinning mills, the kind of data they are expecting us to certify is a mind-boggling. We have to literally sit into the shoes of a cost accountant and analyze the production data, analyze the output data, analyze the raw material data, and literally we have to work out the cost of production and whether it is a workable cost of production, whether the profit margin set is properly justified or not. Or literally we have to set it to the position of a cost accountant and to bring justice to our statutory audit, we have to sit in the shoes of cost accountant. That's why there are multiple roles to be played by a chartered accountant who is accepting the audit of cooperative audit. Finally, this audit is not merely a watching audit, not merely verification of the trial balance, not merely the verification of the accounts, and as per the books of accounts, we have certified the balance sheet and we cannot wash up our hands. This audit is primarily and basically is a proprietary audit. It is not mentioned in any usage. It is not a customary this thing. It's a primary. This is a proprietary audit as suggested by the cooperative law itself. It is there in the law. It is there in the law. Rules say that the cooperative rules say that the cooperative audit is a proprietary audit. So we have to bring proprietary to the audit just because the books of accounts are supported by the vouchers, books of accounts are supported by the proper entries. I am certifying this balance sheet as true and fair. No. We have to use our proprietary principles to verify whether the financials are properly drawn, whether the profit shown is properly drawn, whether the business decisions taken by the management of the society is justified. So we have to verify the business decisions of the cooperative society, whether the business decisions taken by the cooperative society's management are well within the interest of the cooperative society and the shareholders. That is the objective of the proprietary audit. So there are various roles a chartered accountant is expected to perform while doing the cooperative audit. That's how it is a very distinct type of audit. And finally, it is reporting. When it comes to reporting, the output of any audit is reporting. When it comes to Companies Act, when it comes to our tax audit, their reporting format is more of like yes, no, not applicable. There is a standard format. Yes, no, not applicable. And to some extent, we will mention the figures as relevant to that particular question. Mostly like questionnaire. CARO is a questionnaire. So many questions are there, we have to answer. Yes, no, not applicable. Tax audit is also like that. When it comes to cooperative audit, it is not a yes, no, not applicable type of report. It is a narrative report because we are addressing this report to an unorganized sector. The reader of the report is not educated. The reader of the cooperative audit report is semi-literate, not like a corporate person who reads our report, not like income tax department who reads our report. The reader of our cooperative audit report is not much literate. He is a village, he must be operating in the village. He is in the organized sector. So you have to give him the narrative report. You have to narrate him why this is, why this is. Then he will understand why it is. So we have to give a narrative report. That is where we chartered accountants are failing. When you compare the audit report between the audit report given by the chartered accountant and the department official's report is more narrative, ours fails in narration. That is where they are making a distinction. Chartered accountants are not serious in audit reporting. Their audit reports are not quality reporting. That is a complaint since 5 years is going on between us and the department. We are not good in reporting. We just we are habituated to give yes, no, not applicable reporting. So the reporting is very, very important, and the reporting is again in Kannada. That is one more hurdle, whatever it is. Reporting is in Kannada. Most of my chartered accountants sincerely submit that they would have forgotten to read and write Kannada language in their early school days. After becoming CA and all became big man, he would have stopped reading, writing Kannada language. When it comes to reporting, sit and write Kannada reports, there the problem comes. If it is a 1 or 2 pages report, you would have managed. If the cooperative audit report runs into 20 pages, 30 pages, 40 pages, that too in Canada, people will not be having the patience. So they will give it to others. They tend to make mistakes. I have seen reporting mistakes where chartered accountants, my previous auditors have made mistakes. For all answers, how they have written. Whereas the situation is illa. So they would have contradictory because they are not read it. They have given it to someone else and they signed it. So all contrary, this is all observed by the department, and they made us that the quality report is not coming from chartered accountants, especially in cooperative audit, sorry, cooperative banks report where the financial statements and audit reports are published in newspapers, Prajavani, Sangeeta Karnataka, Udayavani. I have seen blunders in newspaper publication of cooperative audit reports. We should be very careful. There is no the proper wordings are not used. Our names are established, published in the newspapers in the bottom of the balance sheet of the cooperative bank, whereas the reporting is not proper. There are bad words used. I always follow this. Unfortunately, nobody will read that report. Nobody will read that newspaper. They simply throw it next day. That is our good thing. There are so many things happening. We have to improve our reporting requirement under the Cooperative Act. So what I am trying to tell you is cooperative audit cannot be taken just like easily, like this, like any other audit. This is the audit I will do and get away out of this. So we are getting bad name in the department by with this kind of mindset. So we have to take it seriously, and also the one more very distinct feature to end my presentation. I am telling you, there is a very, very clear legal provision under the Cooperative Societies Act that audit has to be conducted in the headquarters of the society. You cannot sit in Bangalore, Mysore, Damgare, Shivakumar and sign 100 audit reports and say that I have done the audit. There is a legal requirement, statutory requirement that audit has to be done, conducted in the headquarters of the society. If you say that I sat in the office and did this audit, you are likely to be taken task by the department, and it can be construed as a misconduct as per the Act. So these are various responsibilities to be taken up under the Cooperative Societies Act. And unfortunately, I end with an unfortunate note that our CA Institute has not taken cooperative audit as a very serious audit. So it has left to the individual decisions of the cooperative auditors who got themselves empaneled. There was a committee in Central ICA on cooperatives and NGOs which got vacated. There is no such committee now in ICA. So this is the treatment we are getting from our own institute for this cooperative audit. So the things are to be improved. You have to take cooperative audit very seriously. Then only you will get a reputation for our profession. And there is a corporate social responsibility of the profession towards the cooperative sector. So I request all of you to take the cooperative audit very seriously and do the justice to the audit. Before taking up the audit, please read, I am folding my hands and requesting you, please read section 63, please read section 33 of the Cooperative Societies Act, and then take up the audit, improve the methodology of audit. With this, I thank the Bangalore branch for giving me the opportunity. There are eminent speakers in Raveendranath and Bolmal who will take you to further requirements of the audit. And I hope by next year we'll be meeting you again with a more healthy and happy environment, and we can take up more healthier audits in a healthier atmosphere and bring reputation to the profession in a more healthier way. So the last 4 or 5 years it was not that healthy in our cooperative journey. I hope everything will be all right by next year by same time. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shivakumar. Wonderful. You really enriched us in cooperative audit. Now I request Branch Secretary Divya. Over to Divya. Please propose formal vote of thanks for this inaugural session. Divya, you are there?
Thank you so much, Chairman. And on behalf of Bangalore branch of SIRC of ICI, I take this opportunity to propose a formal vote of thanks for the inaugural session of our cooperative societies workshop. Hearty congratulations and thank you very much, Shivakumar sir, for sparing your valuable time in coming over here. Thank you so much on behalf of Bangalore branch. You are a great asset to our Bangalore branch in these kind of programs. Thank you so much for being part of it, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
once again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes,
So
now I
request,
request.
yeah, Umesh Bolmal sir
Request.
to
Take
kindly
it forward.
take the next session, sir.
Sir, should I mute or unmute?
Sir, we are
Unmute,
hearing you. You can speak. Now you are muted.
Unmute ಮಾಡಿ sir. You can speak now.
Can I speak?
Yeah, we are hearing it.
Yes, sir. You are able to see me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, respected Chairman of Bangalore branch, Sri B.T. Shetty. Today, Chief Guest, knowledgeable H. Shivakumar. Another knowledgeable co-speakers for today's function, Sri Raveendranath sir. My distinguished professional colleagues who is attending this webinar. I am extremely glad to share my views on the subject Amendment to Banking Regulation Act 1949. My dear friends, to start with, on 27th June 2020, all the newspapers in our country printed the breaking news that the central government has issued an ordinance from 26 June 2020, all the cooperative banks in our country will come under the control of Reserve Bank of India. Big breaking news. Public at large, they're confused for a moment. That does it mean that till 26th June 2020, Reserve Bank, all the cooperative banks were not under the control of Reserve Bank of India? What is this news they say? The answer to this question, certainly not. Before going to the amendment to the Banking Regulation Act, my dear friends, let me turn the pages of history of cooperative banking in our country. As you all know, Banking Regulation Act was enacted in the year 1949. So anybody carrying on the banking business has to apply for a license to Reserve Bank of India so that they will be allowed to carry on the banking business in our country. So what, from 1949, anybody who wants to start a cooperative bank, they have to first register themselves as a cooperative society with the concerned register of cooperative societies. And they have to make an application in the prescribed from the Reserve Bank of India and applying for the banking license. After satisfying certain parameters, Reserve Bank of India used to issue banking license to cooperative banks. This is how the story went. Once they issue the license to the concerned cooperative bank to carry on the banking business, their role ends. It went on for 5 to 6 years like this. So they were working literally under the control of Registrar of Cooperative Societies. So between 1949, 5-6 years back, Somehow Reserve Bank of India felt that Registrar of Cooperative Society is not properly managing the affair or monitoring the affairs of a cooperative bank. They were not satisfied. Because with the Registrar of Cooperative Society is already flooded with a lot of his work, lot of number of thousands and thousands of cooperative societies. How can he concentrate on the cooperative banks? That was the problem. It was in the year 1965. Central government thought it fair and fit to make an amendment to the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So new section 56 was introduced, whereas the provisions of Banking Regulation Act were made applicable to cooperative banks. Now the question is, why Reserve Bank of India liberally issued license to cooperative banks? If you compare those days with today, there is a vast difference. Reserve Bank of India left and right issued a license to carry on the banking business to cooperative banks. The intention of the Reserve Bank of India was very good. Before nationalization, all our commercial banks, syndicate bank, corporation bank, Bank of India, etc., they were opening branches only in the city level. They were not interested in going to taluka level or rural level. So Reserve Bank of India thought, okay, let us permit our cooperative banks to open their branches in rural areas so the rural people get banking services. That was the intention of the Reserve Bank of India. Now, my dear friends, now 1949, 1965, Reserve Bank of India, by way of amendment to section 56 or by way of amendment to Banking Regulation Act, they brought it under partial control over the cooperative banks. My dear friends, what is this partial control? The reason is simple, that the subject matter of cooperative is the state subject. Therefore, the question of dual control started. Dual control, part of the cooperative banks were managed or monitored by the Register of Cooperative Societies. Part of the functions of the cooperative banks were monitored by the Reserve Bank of India, which was known as dual control policy. So like in Mahabharata, Draupadi has 5 husbands. All cooperative banks are having 2 husbands. You have to satisfy both of them. Register of Cooperative Society says you have to follow my act. Reserve Bank of India says, no, you have to also file Banking Regulation Act and circular issued by us. That was the concept. So before going to the amendment, let us try to understand what is the main objective of Reserve Bank of India. Many cooperative bank people used to ask me whenever I address them on a seminar, sir, what this Reserve Bank of India has become a headache to us. They don't contribute even 1 rupee for our banking business. They keep on issuing a circulars after circulars, circulars after circulars. So I will explain to you what is the dual control. Under dual control system, Registrar of Cooperative Societies was responsible for the registration of the cooperative bank, registration of the cooperative, point number 1. Then later on, administration of the cooperative. Administration here means election of board of directors, disqualification of board of directors, taking action against the board of directors, if necessary, supersede the board of directors, and appoint an administrator. So then what is the role of Reserve Bank of India? The Reserve Bank of India concentrated on 2 portfolios of cooperative banks. One is deposits held by the cooperative banks. And another portfolio they concentrated is loans and advances by the cooperative banks. My dear friends, they started giving more importance to loans and advances. They went on issuing circular after circular, this type of loan you should give, this type of loan you should not give. And on verifying the returns filed by the regularly filed by the CRR return, SLR returns, etc., they were continuously monitoring the financial health of the cooperative banks. Now, Prior to amendment, that is prior to 27 June 2020, I will explain to you in 2 minutes. There are two types of cooperative banks in our country. Primary cooperative banks. Primary cooperative banks means where the membership is open not to cooperative societies. Only individual partnership firms, limited companies, private limited companies can become the member and enjoy the banking facility. So these are all called primary cooperative banks. To give you an example, City Cooperative Bank, Bangalore, National Cooperative Bank, Bangalore, Vishwesvaraya Cooperative Bank, Bangalore, any Janata Seva Cooperative Bank for bank. These are all primary cooperative banks. They can admit only individuals, partnership firms, private limited companies, public limited company as their members, not to any other cooperative society. The membership of cooperative society, they cannot admit as a member. Now the comes class secondary cooperative banks. Secondary cooperative banks means it is the DCC bank. District, every district has got a district central cooperative banks, wherein all cooperative societies are admitted as member. They have to invest the reserve fund in DCC bank only. Reserve Bank of India, DCC bank, and state apex cooperative bank. Karnataka in Bangalore, you must have seen Karnataka State Apex Cooperative Bank. There is one very big bank. It is called Karnataka State Apex Cooperative Bank. There, they can also admit cooperative banks as a member. They can give loan. They can do business with them. So there is principally there is a difference between a primary cooperative banks and secondary cooperative banks. So these are all the. Now, all these urban cooperative banks, that primary urban cooperative banks, were monitored by the Reserve Bank of India Urban Bank Cell. There is a separate department in Reserve Bank of India, Urban Bank, UB Cell they call it as. They were on all the returns ways to be filed only UB Cell, which monitors the financial health of the cooperative. And what about then Apex Bank and DCC Bank? They have no control. Definitely they are under the control of ABA. So prior to this amendment to banking regulation, all urban cooperative banks were monitored by the Urban Bank Cell of the Reserve Bank of India, and all DCC banks and Apex banks were monitored by NABARD. Now after the amendment, everything has gone. Whether it is a primary cooperative bank or a secondary cooperative bank, whether it is a small cooperative bank in a taluka place, whether it is a big state level cooperative bank, Karnataka State Apex Bank, we have come under the control of Reserve Bank. There is no two different organizations monitoring these things. My dear friends, just take an example. Guru Raghavendra Cooperative Bank landed in a financial crisis in Bangalore. As I already told you, RBI, without the knowledge of the concerned cooperative bank, continuously monitor the financial health of that cooperative bank based on the periodical returns filed by the concerned cooperative bank. When the financial health of the cooperative bank is diminishing or slowly deteriorating, they will not keep quiet. They start issuing the circulars to the cooperative bank whose financial health is diminishing or its financial health is overnight, no cooperative bank will go into liquidation. Remember, my dear friends. See, they start giving directions, but they don't allow them to declare dividend. They don't allow them to open the branches. So there is a single exposure limit. Exposure limit, they will reduce it. If it is earlier for 1%, if they are for one borrower, if they are allowed to give sanction loan up to 50 lakhs, now they say from today onwards you cannot sanction 50 lakhs. You have to sanction loan only up to 25 lakhs. If there is a renewal for cash credit for 50 lakhs, you cannot renew it. You should start recovering. So one by one, they start controlling. Just like a patient when admitted to the hospital, doctors take control of the patient. They will take control of the cooperative bank indirectly. And they give a long rope to any cooperative bank to improve their financial position, my dear friends. Reserve Bank of India is not, they are not merciless people. They give a long road. They will make it very sure that you don't do this, you should not do this, you should invest your SLR in government security, etc. So they keep on watching. In spite of all this, the financial health of the cooperative bank is deteriorated to such an extent, then the Reserve Bank of India will not give. Now, my dear friends, what is the role of a cooperative, Reserve Bank of India? Their main object, the only object of Reserve Bank of India is to protect the interest of the depositors because they have issued a license. Having faith on the license issued by the Reserve Bank of India, the people have kept a deposit. The hard-earned money has been kept as a fixed deposit, recurring deposit, savings deposit, current deposit, whatever it is. Their main concern is not the shareholders of the cooperative bank. They're least bothered. They are very much bothered about the safety of the depositors. And this issue comes, they become merciless. Now the problem comes here when the bank is not ready to improve. It is sinking day by day. It is becoming a sinking ship. They go on issuing circulars after circular, directions after directions. You should not do this, you should not do that. Initially they start. One day they will come to the conclusion, so patient cannot be cured. This is a gone case. What they will do? They will recommend it to the registrar of cooperative societies to supersede the board first. Supersede the board and appoint an administrator. See, my dear friends, here the politics starts. If the board of directors of a cooperative banks are politically influenced, they will try to bring pressure on the registrar of cooperative societies. So immediately, just because it is recommended by Reserve Bank of India, he will not do it. He will not supersede the board of directors. What he has to do, as the principles of natural issue, first he will issue a notice to all the directors to appear before him, give reasons why you should not be superseded. So this is how it started. And in this particular scenario, the Reserve Bank of India became the silent spectators. They were unable to do anything. Then what they did, finally they do? They put moratorium on the withdrawal of the deposit of a cooperative. This is a very, very, very dangerous situation. What is moratorium? They will put a condition, they will issue a circular to the concerned bank saying that from one individual bank account, you cannot allow him to withdraw more than 10,000 rupees or 25,000, depending on the financial health of the cooperative. Then the panic arises in the minds of this news definitely spreads out in the wildfire, right? And all the depositors go and stand before the cooperative banks for withdrawal. First of all, it is a unhealthy bank. It has no money. Why the bank lands in problem? Because of the wrong lending, excessive capital expenditure, no planning at all for personal benefit. It has been used. Now, when there is a panic in the minds of the depositors, my dear friends, the fate of the cooperative banks very, very, very critical. Our news reporters also make it. A lot of gulla, something has happened and the people are in difficulty. Who are in difficulties? It is the depositors. Now, our Reserve Bank of India is in a fixed position. They can only recommend it to the Registrar of Cooperative Societies to do. What Registrar of Cooperative finally, to comply with the recommendation of Reserve Bank of India, he passes an order superseding the board of directors and appoint an administrator. Very interesting. The power to appoint an administrator is with Registrar of Cooperatives. Does he have the panel of experts of banking in his office? No. He will appoint some assistant registrar of cooperative societies. He will appoint some deputy registrar of cooperative societies as an administrator of ABC Cooperative Bank. The gentleman already overburdened with his day-to-day work, who doesn't know ABC of banking, he becomes an administrator of a cooperative bank, which is already a sick bank. So a patient is treated by a person who doesn't know anything about medicine. Something like that, I can understand. Now, because of this dual control system, my dear friends, Reserve Bank of India fed up. They say enough is enough. Enough is enough. The central government, remember, my dear friends, if you turn the pages of history of cooperative banking in our country, first time, not Nirmala Sitaram Madam did this. When Veerappa Moily was the committee member, he recommended that this dual control system in cooperative bank is going to be the very dangerous. The first to follow to the big cooperative banks in our country, that is the PMC, Punjab, Maharashtra, very big cooperative banks landed in financial crisis and it went to liquidation, where thousands and thousands of crores of rupees, you can't imagine. Then you may ask me a question. Sir, in spite of knowing all these things, why our innocent depositors keep their deposits in a cooperative? Very simple. Very, very good question. Anybody can ask. Please see the rates of interest offered by the cooperative banks and the commercial banks. At least by 0.5% or 1% more interest our cooperative banks offer to the depositors to attract the deposit. So all the depositors with an intention to earn more money, they keep their hard-earned money in the cooperative banks. They land in problem. No, this is the history before amendment. Now, what is the effect of amendment to Banking Regulation Act, my dear friends? Now, after the amendment, that is on 26th June 2020, if a bank is sinking, Reserve Bank of India has the power to supersede the board of directors. They need not recommend to the Registrar of Cooperative Society. No, Registrar of Cooperative Society has no business of interfering here. Reserve Bank of India has issued a license to carry on the banking business, and it has the license to kill also. First that they will do, that first they will supersede the board of directors. Then immediately action, next action is they are going to appoint an administrator to run the bank. This, who is then? Another deputy registrar assistant? No. They have the panel of expert bankers who must be retired on a higher level commercial banks, who knows everything about banking. They will first appoint an administrator. Don't think that administrator, the final authority, can do and undo anything. No. He will be guided and by the expert committee of 3 people, which will be appointed by again by Reserve Bank of India. My dear friends, they made it systematically. One administrator by the Reserve Bank of India, he should listen, he should work under the guidance of the committee of experts. 3 to 4 persons will be the experts, who is again nominated by the Reserve Bank of India. So he will start working on that. He will start to improve the health of the cooperative. In spite of his sincere efforts, if the particular cooperative bank is not able to improve its financial health, my dear, let us think like that. Then they will order for a merger of a weak cooperative bank with another strong cooperative bank. So all the depositors, see, the very beauty of this is there will be no question of issuing any moratorium. Depositors will never come to know what is happening. I will give a very simple example. On one fine day, Corporation Bank got merged with the Union Bank of India. You are the customer of Corporation Bank. You didn't feel the difference at all. Only the name of the bank, nameplate changes. Corporation Bank has become Union Bank. So all the depositors' money is safe. They will continue to get the interest. They will continue to get the banking services. Absolutely no change. Absolutely no problem for the depositors of the particular cooperative of the bank. Now the same system will start playing now. After the amendment, Reserve Bank has got the full powers of managing the cooperative banks. If you listen to them proper, and one interesting thing, my dear friends, with the Reserve Bank of India, because I worked in the TAPCOP, I used to see, even they never bother to care for the political influence from central government. I will not name that bank. I was representing cooperative banks in the TAPCA, one central minister was involved in the some malpractices of a cooperative. They started in Karnataka. That was from Karnataka. And I will not tell the name. He started bringing a lot of pressure from the topmost leaders of our country, finance department, to stop the superseding the board. They didn't say nothing doing. Finished. You are over. So this is the spirit of Reserve Bank. My dear friends, this is the brief introduction. What was the Reserve Bank of India role earlier? Now it is drastic change. They are in full powers. They are licensed to kill like James Bond. They have no mercy to save any cooperative bank who is doing misappropriation and all. Now in future you will not see the instances like Punjab and Maharashtra cooperative banks. You will not see the instances like Guru Raghavendra cooperative bank. All the depots coming on the road, they are weeping. So many TV news reporters are going, nothing doing. My dear friends, qualification to become director of a cooperative. What is the qualification? Each one of you will be surprised, you will be shocked to come to know, when I am a member of a cooperative bank, I got a right to contest in the election. Okay. Whether I am able to read, whether I am able to speak, whether I am able to put my signature at least in the vernacular language, I am totally illiterate. Still I can contest in the election, become the director of the cooperative bank. With political power, I can even become the chairman of that cooperative bank. Thousands and thousands of hard-earned money of the depositors are with me. I never understand the meaning of the responsibility. Once you become a director of a cooperative banks, in the eyes of law, you're a trustee for somebody's funds. So in such things, in earlier days, I used to see, you take for example, even today, but in any cooperative bank, let us assume that there are 10 directors. Okay. Only 3-4 directors will be actively involved in the day-to-day business of the cooperative bank. Only 3-4 directors. All others are dummies. When I used to have the TAFCA meeting, when I used to talk to them one-to-one, I have not looked into this fact. I was not aware of that, sir. I have studied only up to 7th standard, sir. I have passed only SSLC, sir. Then I just, out of curiosity, I asked him, why did you become the director of this cooperative? When they land in problem, they come under tension. No, sir, just because for the sake of status, I became director of a cooperative. I contested the election. I joined this panel. I got elected. Selection for the panel is also, he belongs to a particular community. The particular community, there are 500 votes, they will put 1% from that community. Okay? Get himself elected as the director. If he's smart enough, he becomes the chairman also. So all our cooperative banks till today, even today, why till today, even after amendment, they are under the control of CEO of that cooperative bank, chief executive officer or general manager, whatever you want to call it. I have seen so many cooperative banks. It is CEO run cooperative bank. All the directors are like rubber stamps. They don't know what is what. CEO arranges some trips within big resorts in every quarter or once in 6 months. He gives good refreshments, snacks whenever there is a meeting. So he runs the show. There are two extreme possibilities. Let us assume that all CEOs are not. Some CEOs are very sincere. They 24 hours they work for the betterment, welfare of the bank. He is aware of the responsibility. The board directors have trusted me. They made me the CEO of that bank. I should do something to the bank. I should not allow to be seen. He is a good CEO. Very good. Excellent, my dear friends. Such banks will continuously prosper. They may not prosper to the expected, but at least he will not allow the bank to sink. Let us imagine a case Where CEO on one fine day says that everything is under my control, thousands and thousands of crores of deposits are with me. I can sanction loan to anybody X, Y, Z, nothing doing. Go on sanctioning the loan. If some directors of the cooperative bank also join their hands with this gentleman CEO, I should not use the word gentleman, then finished. Then finished, cooperative bank start sinking day by day. So he will go on sanctioning the loans to all the persons, and he himself may take a loan in dummy names, A, B, C, D, E, and he may utilize it for his personal business or money lending business, anything. And one day, all these people raise the hands, and the CEO retires. All the directors innocently keeping quiet. What is happening to the cooperative bank, they don't know. Then immediately Reserve Bank of India starts taking action against the board of directors. So these are all the cases, my dear friends. To give a specific example, Guru Raghavendra Cooperative Bank. It is said, I have read it in the newspaper. How far it is true, I don't know. You may be knowing better. The CEO of the bank was a suspended employee from some other syndicate bank or something. These people appointed him as the CEO, gave full powers to the CEO of that bank. And along with the directors, he is not alone, he did it. All that malpractice went along with the collusion with some of the interested directors. They looted the bank and the bank went into liquidation. Reserve Bank of India say attach the properties of all the directors and the CEO. CEO committed suicide. Tell me, my dear friends, is he a fool? He will not have the property, all the property in his name. He must have made the property in the name of his wife or children or whatever, we don't know. Ultimately, in such cases, my dear friends, the innocent depositor loses the money. Do you think all the depositors of the Guru Raghavendra Bank got back their deposit? Forget about the interest portion, at least principal amount, my dear friends. Then as a professional people, you ask me a question. Sir, there is a DICGC. Why DICGC is not able to? Why they're taking every year premium, which every cooperative bank is supposed to pay? What is the use of DICGC? My dear friends, if I have got a 10 lakhs rupees deposit, don't think that DICGC will refund 10 lakhs to me. No. Earlier, the limit was rupees 1 lakh per depositor. Remember, my dear friends, I'm very carefully using the word 1 lakh rupees per depositor. I am having a fixed deposit of 10 lakhs. I am having a savings bank where the credit balance is say 30,000, 40,000. I have got a recurring deposit account where the balance is 10,000 or 20,000. Current account. All put together 1 lakh rupees per depositor they are going to give. Sir, is it not a drop in the ocean? I have lost 20-25 lakhs in the form of deposit, and the DICGC finally comes after so many months. They say, you take 1 lakh rupees and finished. My job is over. Very recently, our Honorable Finance Minister has raised this limit to 1 lakh to 5 lakhs. 1 lakh to 5 lakhs. So many of my clients ask me a question, sir, anyway, the bank manager, even bank managers smartly misguide the depositors. Sir, don't keep 20 lakhs deposit, one fixed deposit, sir. You divided it into 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs. So they are under the impression that they will get back the 20 lakhs if something goes wrong to the bank. No, absolutely no. You may have 10 fixed deposit received, you may have 100 fixed deposit received, you may have only one fixed deposit. Per depositor, now the limit is only 5 lakh, remember. One smart suggestion, or I cannot, you are all learned people than I am. If one of your clients come and tells her, nowadays cooperative banks are unsafe, at the same time I want to earn more rate of interest. If I go to the commercial banks, I'm getting hardly 6.5% or so. At least these people are giving 8% interest. I'm totally depending on the interest on fixed deposit. Kindly guide me. So what as a chartered accountant we can advise is first name you keep Mr. A, second name Mrs. A, one deposit of 5 lakhs. Second deposit, first name Mrs. A, second name would be Mr. A. Third deposit, first name will be the first son of that particular depositor, second name is his wife or himself. Like that, first depositor's name you can change and see if there is any, let us assume, according to my interpretation of the ACCC Act, depositor here means the person whose name appears first. So in this particular case, he is likely to get 20 lakhs, entire 20 lakhs if something goes wrong. Concerned cooperative banks. Now, my dear friends, as already told you, prior to the amendment of banking regulation, any member without qualification, without the knowledge of banking, he can become director, he can become the chairman for status sake or whatever it is. Now those days have gone. Now Reserve Bank of India says, after the amendment to the banking regulation, and that is 26th June 2020, at least 51% of the board of directors should possess the qualification in accountancy, qualification in law, and qualification in banking business. This is the minimum requirement. Minimum. Supposing there are the 10 directors in a cooperative banks, at least more than 51%, but at least 6 directors should be educated. They should not be like a rubber stamps in the hand of the CEO. This is the major change these people have done, my dear friends. Now coming to the share capital of a cooperative, that is a very, very, very important aspect. Share capital is a big cushion for any cooperative, healthy cooperative. How the share capital is collected? Somebody who wants to become member of a cooperative bank, he will make an application to the board of directors. Board of directors sanction him, allow him to become the member. Say there may be a cooperative bank says you should have 5 shares, 1,000 each, means he will invest 5,000 rupees, he becomes the member. See, this is the only source of share capital for any cooperative bank earlier. Now, the Reserve Bank of India, understanding the importance of the share capital in the health of the financial health of the cooperative banks, they issued a circular that whenever a person borrows money from the cooperative bank, there should be share linking. Share linking means if I am taking a secured loan of 10 lakh rupees, let us assume I want to purchase a car, I have taken a 10 lakh rupees vehicle loan. I must purchase a share of 25,000 rupees. I may be already having 1,000 rupees shares, that is different issue. 25,000 rupees shares I should purchase for take a loan of 10 lakhs rupees. If it is a secured loan. If it is an unsecured loan, the ratio is different, 5%. If you want to take an unsecured loan to the extent of 10 lakhs, my dear friends, I have to purchase shares with 50,000 rupees in that particular cooperative. Then only my loan application will be entertained, not otherwise. This is popularly known in Reserve Bank of India's language, share linking to borrow. So that's why if you are auditing the cooperative bank's balance sheet, you could see whenever there is an increase in loans and advances portfolio, there will be corresponding increase in the share capital of the particular cooperative bank. This is the beauty of the cooperative. Now you may ask me a question, okay, fine, then what is the change the Reserve Bank of India has done? After the amendment, they have not touched this topic. Yes, they have touched the topic. Now, the Reserve Bank of India says with the prior approval of cooperative banks, now cooperative banks can think of issuing shares at premium, like any joint stock company. They are allowed to issue shares at premium. They cannot to attract share capital. They can also, they say, with our approval, you can issue debentures. Nothing wrong. Be strong. Theoretically, it looks very rosy, my dear friends. Practically, I have my own doubts. we think a cooperative bank working in a district place or a taluka place can think of taking the approval of Reserve Bank of India, assuming for a moment liberally cooperative bank, Reserve Bank of India permits that particular cooperative bank to issue shares at a premium. Anybody will purchase? Another restriction they have put till today, whenever a shareholder do not want to say, I have taken the loan of 10 lakh rupees for earlier example for purchase of a vehicle. I have repaid the loan, fine. I can withdraw. I'll surrender my share application, share certificate, and get back the money from the concerned corporate bank. And board of directors is to liberally allow me to withdraw my share. So I was assured whether the dividend is assured or not, at least 25,000, whatever I have invested for taking this loan, I got back the money. Now the today's situation is not like that. Board of directors has no power to refund the share capital. You have to take the prior approval of Reserve Bank of India. No, my dear friends, please tell me. Small cooperative banks working in a taluka place or a district place, which gentleman will think of investing by paying premium? Forget about paying premium, even a discount of the purchase. I think only very big multi-state cooperative banks, to give an example, Saraswat Cooperative Bank, we have got branches all over the parts of the country. In all the states of our country, they have the branches. Such banks can think in terms of issuing a shares at premium. Their shares have got some value because their dividend paying earlier records all very clearly say they're well managed. Do you know who is the person who is the successor of the Saraswat Cooperative Bank? Saraswat Cooperative Bank today is equal to any other commercial bank, maybe equal to the Karnataka Bank or any bank. Do you know who is the person who brought up Saraswat Cooperative? He is none other than learned chartered accountant Sri Suresh Prabhu. He brought up the Saraswat Cooperative Bank, very small cooperative bank, into the national level. How much efforts he put? That is the talent of a chartered accountant. When he works, a chartered accountant decides to work sincerely, he can do wonders. Now, my dear friends, this, according to me, this is only the share capital, how it should be done. Now, coming to our own bread and butter now. Statutory auditors of a cooperative bank. Okay. Statutory auditor of a cooperative bank, our Shivakumar sir was telling that statutory auditor of a cooperative bank or any cooperative society is appointed by the general body, at least for namesake, on record sake. It is appointed by board of directors. Let me be very frank before you. They are supposed to be appointed by general body. In 2021, they are already appointed. Prior to the amendment of banking regulation, this is the story. Now, after amendment to the Banking Regulation Act, so for cooperative banks are concerned, not all the cooperatives, remember my words, it is applicable only for cooperative banks now. Now, there is a drastic change in the appointment of statutory auditors. What is the drastic change? This new procedure appointment is statutory auditor of a cooperative bank, my dear friends, is from the financial year 2021-22. I am very carefully repeating these words. 2021 and 22, you will not be appointed, statutory auditor will not be appointed by the general body. No, nothing doing. General body has no business to interfere in this. Appointment statutory auditor will be done only by Reserve Bank of India. Another interesting part, Reserve Bank of India has already very recently they've issued a detailed circular, how a statutory auditor should be appointed, who should be, what is his qualification. My dear friends, it is only the partnership firms of a chartered accountants are allowed to become the statutory auditor of a cooperative. Now, when this news broke out, And all the cooperative banks started discussing with the chartered accountants, you are a sole proprietary person. Now, from 2021 and 22, you cannot be appointed as an auditor. Then the next question arises, then have they got any empanelment like the director of audit, our Reserve Bank of India? No, they do not have any. As on today, they have no empanelment, just like our nationalized cooperative banks. No, nothing. They don't have any empanelment, nothing. Then who should appoint? They say the board of directors, they should recommend the names of two partnership firms. Two partnership firms. And send it to Reserve Bank of India in the order of the preference. ABC company, ABC associate, chartered accountants, first preference, XYZ associates or XYZ and company chartered accountants, second preference. Out of these two, they will select one. Reserve Bank of India, it is the prerogative or the power of the Reserve Bank of India who will be the statutory doctor pay cooperative. My dear friends, Reserve Bank of India has very smartly divided urban cooperative banks into two parts. Small cooperative banks and big cooperative. Then you may ask me a question that what is the size? Does it depend on the number of branches? Does it depend on the size or age of the bank? Which is a small bank, which is a big bank? They have taken asset base. Remember, not deposit. Asset base as the criteria to decide. They have divided the cooperative banks into two parts. Less than 1,000 crore asset base. More than 1,000 crore asset base. Asset base, my dear friends, listen to me very carefully. I am carefully using the word asset base. Then any chartered accountant will put by the question to me, then how do you find out the asset base? It is the total of the balance sheet on the asset side minus any accumulated losses and intangible asset will decide the size of the cooperative banks for a statutory audit. If the total of the asset sides minus accumulated losses or without intangible assets less than 1,000 crores, and then according to the Reserve Bank of India, it is a small cooperative. If the total exceeds 1,000 crores, then it becomes big cooperative. Then you may ask me a question, what difference it makes? For smaller cooperative banks where the asset base is less than 1,000 rupees, my dear friends, the minimum requirement is in that partnership firm, there should be at least 2 chartered accountants. At least out of the 2, one should be a senior chartered accountant who has completed 10 years of practice. So that is enough. If you have a partnership firm with 2 chartered accountants, one is about 10 years, another is more than 5 years, you are fit or you are capable of can be appointed, recommended by the board of directors of a cooperative. One more condition the Reserve Bank of India has put. It is not enough that if you are having 2 partners, they say you should have a qualified staff at least to the extent of 8. You should have at least 8 qualified staff who are competent enough to conduct the audit of a cooperative. 8 qualified staff means not your typist and all that. They made it very clear. Then perhaps they have given a format to the cooperative banks. You take an application from the concerned chartered accountant. Now they have no other go. No, the cooperative bank have to search in the panel of audit. Already, director of audit is an auditor. Director of auditor is having a panel of chartered accountants who is empaneled. Out of that panel, they will try to find it out. I may not be in the panel, still then I can apply. Whether your name is there in the panel or not, it makes no difference. So the board of management should search who is competent, who is capable of appointed as a statutory. Now this is the story of less than 1,000 crores. More than 1,000 crores, the requirement is slightly tougher. Reserve Bank of India says, if you want to appoint, or if any cooperative banks whose asset base is more than 1,000, for example, your Saraswati Cooperative Bank, the minimum number of partners should be 3, not 2. And they should have a qualified 12 article clerks or audit assistants who have got the thorough knowledge of banking, audit of banking. They should have a thorough knowledge. They should know what is computers, what is the software, everything they should. In this scenario, many chartered accountants ask me the question, then there is no future for sole proprietorship. Does it mean like that? According to me, it need not be. Because this condition is only for statutory audit of a cooperative. We have internal audit function also. We have concurrent audit function also. Even the sole proprietor can become the internal auditor or a concurrent auditor of a cooperative bank. There's nothing wrong. It is in the hand of the management, in the hands of the management. You should not be disappointed. You should not become nervous that I am a sole proprietor. I have no future in. No, I cannot be the statutory auditor. No, you do not think about it. You think like that. But in times to come, according to me, only the partnership firms have got a future, but not the sole proprietorship firm. My dear friends, coming to this, they will send names of 2 partnership firms is less than 1,000, which I have explained in detail what should be the qualification of a chartered accountant partnership firms. They will recommend the name of minimum 2 persons. 2 firms they will recommend. Out of that, Reserve Bank of India approves 1. Interesting change is there as compared to earlier 2020-21 our KCA circular, my dear friends. From 2021 and 22, our new banking regulation act applied appointment of a statutory auditor. What is the change? The change is very, very drastic. The Reserve Bank of India under the KCS Act, what was our position? If I am appointed for the year 2020-21, only when the financial year ends, they will get 1 month's time to prepare the financial statement, profit and loss account, balance sheet, get it approved by the board of directors, then request the statutory to take up the audit, which generally we want to call it as postmortem. Everything has happened. He is going for postmortem, give the postmortem report. Whether it is good, healthy, bad, whatever it is. Now those days have gone. Reserve Bank of India says nothing doing, no postmortem business by chartered accountant. Nothing doing. What is the change? The Reserve Bank of India says that you should appoint the your statutory auditors for the year 2021-22 so that they should be able to commence their audit from 1st October 2021. Look at the drastic change they have made. From 1st October 2021, I must be able to commence the audit even before the end of the year. Before the end of the year, my audit function starts. Tomorrow, chartered account should not say, no, everything has happened. I'm sorry, I cannot do anything, nothing doing. If ABC Cooperative Bank appoints me as a statutory auditor, let it be a small cooperative bank, Reserve Bank of India expects me to start the audit from 1st October 2021 only, though the financial year ends on 31st March 2022. My dear friends, look at the responsibility, look at the trust the Reserve Bank of India says. When I'm saying Reserve Bank of India, they have got highest regard for our professional people. Of course, not connected with this. They appointed a committee of senior officials. Now, anyway, the Banking Regulation Act has been amended. How to put into force? How to put this amendment into action? That is the big question mark. They formed a consultative committee, wherein The past president of our institute, Mukund Chitale, they requested Mukund Chitale, our past president, to guide the Reserve Bank of India. You please select some chartered accountants all over our country or our part of in all states. Have a committee, have a direct dialogue with the chartered accountants, what Reserve Bank of India should do to protect the cooperative banking in our country. And I must be thankful to our past president, Sri B.P. Rao, who recommended my name from Karnataka. We had a marathon discussion with the Reserve Bank officials on virtual mode like this. Nearly 3 hours it went. All senior chartered accountants were experts in audit of cooperative banks, big cooperative bank, commercial banks, nationalized banks, territories appear. They gave their views. Don't you think it is a cut-into profession, my dear friends? Reserve Bank of India senior officials were listening to us very, 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 very carefully. When I make any statement, immediately they used to interpret. Sorry for interrupting, Mr. Bolmal. Please repeat it again. Your suggestion appears to be good. They were very diplomatically, they will be. Sir, your suggestion is very valid, but how to implement it? Please tell us. You are more knowledgeable than us. See, my dear friends, when the professional qualification comes, when the professional director is to be appointed, why only chartered accountants are recognized? Why not company secretaries? Why not cost accountants? They're equal to us in their own field. They may be expert. Look at the respect of the Reserve Bank of India, my dear friends. Look at the respect that Reserve Bank of India gives to the profession. Now, there is a drastic change. We have heard in that consultative committee meeting, they are coming out with a very detailed LFR for exclusively for cooperative banks. Exclusive for cooperative bank. Detailed LFR will be issued, and you are supposed to comment, not yes, no, not applicable, no, nothing doing. You have to give an illustrative answer to each and every question for which you will be responsible. Now, I mean, coming to the conclusion part of my title given by the Bangalore branch is critical analysis. Somebody jokingly asking me, my dear friends, Mr. Bolmal, are you going to criticize the amendment to Banking Regulation Act? It is not I am criticizing, I am making a critical analysis. The role of Reserve Bank of India, my dear friends, as a chartered accountant, we should know they are like traffic police. They are like traffic police. What is the interest the traffic police is having? Controlling the traffic to prevent an accident. That's all. For our benefit, the poor fellow is standing in the sun or rain, dust, everything. Similarly, Reserve Bank of India works like a traffic police. Their main intention is to protect the interest of a cooperative depositors in the cooperative bank. So, for concluding part, according to me, it is well-deserved amendment they have made. No more political influence. Reserve Bank of India has got the final power to kill. If there is anybody who is making mischief with the corporate poor man's deposits, they are mercilessly will be treated. They need not recommend it to register of cooperatives. They themselves they can take action. That is the power they have in it. Now in future they will not find a news that there is in a particular cooperative bank, the Reserve Bank of India has issued a moratorium. Moratorium means, you don't allow any deposit to withdraw more than 10,000 or 25,000 in a month. No more moratorium. They will go on checking the financial health of the cooperative banks. If the cooperative bank, there is no sign of improvement, mercilessly they merge that weak cooperative bank, another cooperative, strong cooperative. So at any cost, the depositor's interest is protected. In the name of ABC Cooperative Bank, board will disappear. XYZ Cooperative Bank will come into the picture. So depositor will get back the money. The depositor will get the due interest. The best example which I have given, the one fine morning, corporation bank got merged into the Union Bank. If I am the customer of a corporation bank, I am not nothing to lose. At least I am savvy, I can have a good sleep in night. Okay, what difference it makes whether it is corporation bank or Indian bank? I have got a fixed deposit with the corporation bank 30 lakhs rupees. Say for example, it is 9% or 8%. I will continue to get the 9% interest, not from corporation bank, now Union bank. I am not put to loss. This is the main intention. Regarding the issue of shares at a premium in the consultative committee meeting also made it very clear. Sir, this looks very rosy on the newspaper. I have my own doubts. When the senior officials of the Reserve Bank of India puts me a question, why Mr. Bolmal, why are you so pessimistic? Why do you think like that? The reason is very simple, my dear friends. Earlier, what used to do? I used to purchase shares whenever I want to take a loan. Once I repay the loan with interest in full, I had the right to make an application to the board of directors. They used to refund me the share money also. Now the position is different. Even though I have repaid the loan in full, even though I have paid the principal plus interest in full, even if I make application to the board of directors have no power to refund my shares. They have to take the prior approval of Reserve Bank of India. If Reserve Bank of India says now your financial position is not that strong to allow the shareholder to withdraw share capital, no, nothing can be done. That person particular, this sentiment that will definitely affect the sentiments of the investors. I don't think in future cooperative anybody will invest in cooperative banks. As an investor, no. Share linking they will have to, because if I want to take a loan from a cooperative bank, I have to purchase shares because the banking, the Reserve Bank of India circular says so. I have to. So withdrawal is not in my hands, nor in the hands of the board of directors. They have to take the approval of Reserve Bank of India. Another, it is a good or bad. Of course, I told to consultative committee meeting also say, what is cooperative principle? One person, one vote. One member, one vote. If a Mr. A is having 1,000 rupees shares, minimum holding, let us assume is 1,000. This Mr. A is having 1,000 rupees shares, and there is another customer who is having 50,000 rupees worth share. He has taken a loan. He is supposed to purchase shares. Both will have only one vote. Whether he has invested 1,000 rupees will be equal to another shareholder is having 50. Both are equal. In cooperative, both are equal. Whether you are having 1,000 rupees shares, whether you are having 50,000 rupees shares. Both have got only one vote only. Now, after the amendment, it looks from one person one vote to, they have said one share which will to one. I'm afraid, my dear friends, if it is a well-managed cooperative bank, it is financially very sound. You please see the well-managed cooperative bank's balance sheet. It is a fad, or it is some sort of thinking in our cooperators that we should have a very big building. State Bank of India will never think in terms of constructing a very big building for the branches. Our cooperative, enthusiastic cooperators, cooperative directors, now during our term, we will have our own building for this branch. They'll spend lakhs of rupees. It is not a wise banking in spite of that. So today, just to give an example, my dear friends, there is one, one of the top club we used to discuss with them. Karnataka State Industrial Cooperative Societies, established by our great visionary Mr. Vishweshwaraya. In Mysore, they have got the head office. The value of the building itself is like 100 crores. You cannot imagine such a big building, such a big plot of land. So this is the beauty of a cooperative bank. So many people must have worked. So many people must have worked for that, my dear friends. And all our capitalistic people, rich people or business houses may think in terms of acquiring the shares of a cooperative bank. They will definitely have a control in the management. When a businessman purchases shares, as a matter of investment, he has some other ideas also. So they may take over the bank itself. They may start giving the loans to their own people, own subsidiary companies, or closely related relatives, everything. We don't know. But Reserve Bank of India says, no, sir, such things. I expressed my concern over this, sir. One share, one vote is going to be very dangerous situation, and you are inviting capitalistic. No, the Reserve Bank of India says, no. We know that. We'll control that. We'll control. I don't know how they are going to control, my dear friends. Now, subsequent to the amendment to the Banking Regulation Act, my dear friends, the responsibility of the chartered accounts will be increased in manifold. Listen to me very carefully. Our responsibility is going to be manifold increased. It is not just like submitting an audit report to Director of Audit. You have to submit your report to the Reserve Bank of India, which will be scanned, which will be looked into very seriously by them. And subsequent to our audit, if the inspectors come and audit, they find the difference between our NPA calculation, their NPA calculation, our CRAR calculation with their CRAR calculation. They mercilessly refer our name to our institute for further disciplinary action. That is what they expect from a chartered accountant. My dear friends, it's already 6 o'clock. Our another learned speaker still we have to hear, Raveendranath sir, having huge experience and knowledge in cooperative audit. Now, before I end my speech, a small information I would like to share with you. How this word bank has invented. Word bank, B-A-N-K, bank. You have to go to America, they call bank. Go to Japan, they call bank. Go to Switzerland, they call bank. Go to China, they call bank. Then how is that name has come? Who invented this bank? Who has invented? The dictionary meaning says I bank means I trust you. No dictionary says that it is a place where the money is kept or loan is taken. Remember. Then why this bank name has come? Very interesting story behind it. I read somewhere. Earlier in England, they used to play spit games, no? Spit. They used to play rummy and all that in the clubs with drinks. So in playing spit cards, they used to bet money. How many dollars or how many rupees, whatever it is. So generally clubs become active only in the night, all of you know, including India. With the drinks and all that they used to play. So while playing the game, somebody used to lose, no? And somebody used to win. The person who is losing, he has to shell down. 100 rupees I lost, take it. 500 rupees I lost, take it. 500 rupees. One beautiful principles or ethics, whatever you want to call it, is call it in clubs. No credit. You cannot say I have lost 500 rupees tomorrow I will pay. No. You have to settle the account there and there itself. Now what they used to say, then one gentleman conceived an idea. He started sitting outside the club in a different room. On a bench he used to sit. If somebody has lost the money, he doesn't have the money in his purse or pocket, immediately he has to go and approach the gentleman. You give me 100 rupees or 500 rupees or loan to me, sir. He used to give 500 rupees. And he used to settle the accounts, the person who has lost. Next day, this fellow used to repay that gentleman who is sitting on the bench. Again, every day he used to come, he comes, settles his old dues. Not only 500 rupees, 510 rupees, or whatever it is, whatever you call 1 day's interest. The person who is sitting on the bench, they become wiser. When Mr. A loses 500 rupees, means another Mr. B or X or Y, Z will win 500 rupees, no? He contacted those persons who we have won. He said, why do you want to take back this money to your house, sir? Why don't you deposit this money with me? Don't give me the money without interest. No, tomorrow perhaps you may lose it. Fine, I will help you. For 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, as long as you use your money, I will pay interest to you. So everybody finds it is a very good system. Why do in the night I should go to the house and take the money, come back? No, nothing big. Very good system. Everybody appreciate it. So the person sitting on the bench only during night time, he was also very smart. People like you. He started this business in his house also. Morning hours. So his request is, if you have got a surplus money, come and deposit with me. If anybody is having financial problem, come and meet me. I will help you. So the people started giving their hard-earned money savings to that person. So he started putting one bench in his house also in the morning, and he used to sit on a bench in the night. So the people started saying, where do you want to keep the money? Keep the money in the bench. You are in need of the money. From where do you take the money from? I take money from bench. Depositing our surplus money in the bench, withdrawing or taking loan from the bench is become bench in our country. It has become bank. My dear friends, I do not know how I justified my speech. All of you people are learned. My dear friends, thank you very much. Thank you very much, because it's already 6 o'clock. We have to still hear Raveendranath sir. Thank you. Thank you.
It was wonderful.
Thank you very much, Umesh, sir. Thank you so much on behalf of Bangalore Bank. It was great hearing from you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, I was not able to hear. I was not able to see the query.
There are no queries as such. In the chat box, there are no queries.
Yes, sir.
I don't think there are any queries right now.
Or if there is any queries, anyway, we have the again meeting on Thursday. There also we can discuss.
Yes, sir.
Let all our chartered schools apply their mind. Mr. Raveendranath sir.
Yes, sir.
Eagerly waiting for you.
Madam, shall I start?
Please, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Please start.
Yeah, kindly give me the sharing power.
Manish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Friends.
Now presentation is coming, sir.
Yeah. Yes, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
my presentation is visible. Okay, I think I can start now. Good evening, one and all. And first of all, I would like to thank the Bangalore branch of our SIRC for giving me an opportunity to share something that I know regarding the cooperative audit in Karnataka. The subject, the topic they have assigned to me is important issues in relation to cooperative audit in Karnataka. Of course, friends, it is already so many of us, we are well versed with cooperative audit in Karnataka. There may be some new entrants who are interested in knowing some basic things also. That's why I am covering this entire topic, keeping in mind the new entrants as well as the stalwarts. Of course, because my allotted time is just 1 hour, I may be skipping some of the topics, or I may be running fast in some of the slides. Anyway, we have got chart box and we have got question and answer sessions. Once again, we can come back to those questions which are raised. So, Friends, today's topic, in my these things, 1 hour duration, I want to cover these basic aspects of empanelment appointment process in nutshell, and then procedural aspects of cooperative audit, and then expectations from cooperative auditor, and common mistakes of cooperative auditor, and suggestions for improvement. These are all the issues that I have come across during my tenure as chartered accountant, auditing many cooperative societies, and also interacting with many fellow members and departmental personalities and all that. So I have compiled all those things for the sake of sharing with my colleagues across Karnataka. So I hope I will be doing justice to my topic today. Anyway, first, empanelment and appointment process. Friends, all of us, we know the first process is appointment. Starting point of every audit is appointment. Unless you are appointed, you are not going to conduct the audit. So this audit appointment process, we need to be very careful. The director of cooperative audit has to maintain the panel of auditors for carrying out the audit. This all of us we know. The director has to maintain the panel of auditors with two things, two parameters: classification of cooperative societies into ABC category, as well as the auditors into ABC category on different parameters. The cooperative societies are classified on the basis of their working capital, whereas the auditors are classified into ABC categories on the basis of their standing in the profession. All of us, we know this is the thing right now. It is in practice. There are ABC societies and ABC classification of auditors. In A classification, societies having more than 25 crores of working capital or a turnover is placed, as well as in the panel of auditors, the chartered accountants having more than 10 years of practice, and the officials of DCA not below the rank of deputy director, DDCA, they are put into A categories. Likewise, B societies having more than 10 crores but below 25 crores of working capital, they can be audited by those CAs who have got minimum of 5 years, and officials of DCA, including the assistant director. In A category, only deputy director or above them, joint director or like something like that, they can do the audit. In case of B classification, even assistant directors, they can do the audit. In C classification, societies having less than 10 crores of working capital, all other societies are clubbed into C class, where CAs having minimum of 3 years of experience, minimum COP of 3 years, they are enrolled, and officials of DCA grouped into district-wise panels. It is the classification right now. It is observed and it is being followed. Now, running quickly through the process of appointment, in case of cooperative society, it is customary, though not mandatory, to ascertain the eligibility and availability and panel number of the proposed auditor. What happens if a director, management of a cooperative society wants to appoint some XYZ or something like that? It is customary on their part to approach that auditor whether he is willing to audit our society, whether he is available, whether he is eligible, and all that. So they will get the information, and then they will ascertain in case of new appointment as well as reappointment, both, because as all of us we know, we are not eligible for reappointment for continuously for more than 3 years, 2 years. That's why whether we are eligible for reappointment or not, they have to ascertain. So, and there is also a possibility that there may be a change in constitution of our firms. That also important. So every time they have to make it confirmed that we are eligible for reappointment. So that's the process. And once after receipt of such a letter, the auditor should reply indicating his availability or otherwise. Suppose if a society writes to our chartered accountants, if you are willing, you are available, and you are eligible and all that, we need to express our interest Expression of giving expression of interest is not barred. Of course, participating in bidding is not possible. We need not bid into the cooperative audit and all that, but we are eligible. We can participate in the submission of expression of interest. So we should reply indicating our availability or otherwise. We may reject if we are not interested. We may reject it. So like that, in case he is not willing or not eligible, he may indicate appropriately. If he is eligible and willing to carry out the audit, he should clearly state the fact and convey his willingness along with his empanelment number, so that the next process of appointment will commence at the level of the society. So, society, as our chief guest, he put it in plain words, the society appoints the auditor in AGM held thereafter. Appointment of auditor should be only in AGM. It is not elsewhere. So that's, we should get it clarified whether we are appointed in the AGM or not. The resolution so passed shall state ideally the name of the auditor, his empanelment number, and shall authorize the CEO to communicate with the auditor. There should be one authorization to the CEO to communicate to the auditor. Within 7 days, he has to communicate to the auditor that he has been appointed as the auditor. For this purpose, a letter along with the copy of the resolution stated above and the name and address of the previous auditor is to be sent to the auditor. Here you see, of course, it is not mandatory to mention the previous auditor's name and address and all that. But if they are appointing a chartered accountant, it is better if they mention the previous auditor's name and address. Of course, all the chartered accountants, we know why for this is. Because we need to communicate with the previous auditors and get the NOC or no objection, right? That's why if it is previous name of the previous auditor is mentioned, it is good. Such a letter, when received, can be responded only after auditor communicates with the previous auditor stated in the letter. Suppose if I receive a letter from a new society appointing me as a chartered accountant and mentions the previous auditor, first thing I have to communicate with the previous auditor whether there is any objection from his part to take up this audit or not. So before writing to the previous auditor, I should not commit myself or I should accept the audit. That we should take care of. And interestingly, an auditor, we need not get the NOC as such or wait indefinitely for NOCs. It is just communicate with the previous auditor. We can set the date. Within 7 days, if I don't receive any reply from you, I will assume that you don't have any objections. That kind of letter, it is sufficient. So after communication process is over, he shall communicate to the societies. Only after getting that NOC or no objections or something like that, then only you can communicate to the society that you are ready for audit. And then such acceptance can be by way of separate letter or in the form of engagement letter as stated in our standards of audit SA or as near as to possible. So see, we have our chartered accountants, we have one SA on audit engagement letter. That we can follow the same thing. Of course, we have Shivakumar who has drafted that audit engagement letter in Kannada also. That we can share. I mean, that you can write to the society in the same form or nearest form in that, so that we will be very clear. Where the fees of the previous auditor is pending, see, suppose there is a pendency of audit fees payable to the previous auditor, the subsequent auditor shall insist on payment before issuing his report. Of course, there is one more section in Cooperative Act itself that they have to clear their dues, and if it is not cleared, they can approach, the previous auditor can approach the concerned DR or JR or whatever that is, and they can get the, even otherwise, even the subsequent auditor, he has to issue his audit report only after getting confirmed that previous auditor's fees is paid. That we can insist. And then suppose our appointment process is fine. Then once the appointment is done, The auditor has to devise appropriately the strategy of audit. We have to make a strategy of audit. How? I will share with you some of the points. He should call for and study the previous year's financial statement. Immediately after getting the appointment order, you should call for previous year's financial statements. They definitely they will give you, so that you can plan what is the working capital base, what are the how many branches they have, what is the working force that we need, how to plan for audit, whether we need to conduct interim audit for this society or not, how the management is working, and all that we can know if the previous year's financial statements are given along with the audit report. Then we should assess the scope and risk of this audit assignment. If the audit report of previous year contains some heavy remarks, or if it is classified in other than B, other than A, then we can be very careful in conducting the audit, and we can expand the scope of audit that we can think of. Taking into consideration about the auditor should plan his audit, keeping in mind the resources available with him. Of course, we are also constrained with the resources. We have to depend on our article assistants or paid assistants. And we have minimum human resource also, so that we can plan it accordingly. So suppose if the appointment is done in somewhere in September or something like that, with the concurrence of the society, we can immediately commence the audit, so that the rush or the pressure on us after April will not be there, so that we can plan it. So we can, resources also we can see. Now, coming to the procedural aspects of the cooperative audit, I will be covering very small things here. I'm not going to give the elaborately the procedural aspects. Of course, it needs much more time. First and foremost thing is we have to form an audit team which is suitable for that society for which we have been appointed. We have got already, as I noted, we have got constraints of human resource. Along with that, we have other commitments also, other statutory compliances like GST or IT or something like that. Meanwhile, we have to conduct this audit also. So we have to make audit team, and we need to make that audit team quite sufficient enough, and the team should compose in such a way that that society, whichever the society we are auditing, that is quite enough. This audit team is quite enough to conduct the audit. So that I'll come to that point little later also. And then we need to draft an audit program. Conveniently, we can have the audit program. I think I have shared one such audit program long back in our audit group. That audit program contains what are the documents that we need to collect, what are the things that we need to verify. It is just like one audit checklist, elaborately created for credit cooperative societies, that you can use for any cooperative societies also. Frame the audit schedule, timings of audit. Like that, we can schedule the audit schedule for with the concurrence of the cooperative societies concerned. And documents and working papers we need to collect for each societies, we need to mention in our audit program itself. What are the documentation that we need to have as working papers, and documents that we need to collect as external sources from the societies, and all that we need to see. And then review and finalization, we should have a separate plan for audit, review and finalization. Audit will be conducted by some juniors and seniors, and a mix of those things. And review and finalization should be done by us only. In the sense, we have to involve ourselves in finalization process. Then we will be knowing where we are, what are the things that is done, and what are happening in that society. So finalization, please involve yourself into that process. Here, what are the things that we need to bear in mind during the audit? First, we need to be thorough with the act and rules. Of course, chartered accountants, we have a constraint here because we are not studied the Cooperative Act at length during our curriculum, during the CA, whereas we study elaborately the Companies Act and other acts, but we don't study Cooperative Act. Even now, Cooperative Act is not included in the curriculum of CA curriculum, though the chartered accountants are empowered with audit of cooperative societies, whereas GST is included. We need to see that one. So now we must be very thorough with the act and rules. If it is a Savarda cooperative, we must be very thorough with the KSS Act. Once I remember very well what is the difference between KSS, that is Karnataka Savarda Sahakari Act, and KCS Act, Karnataka Cooperative Society Act. What are the differences? Where are the things that we need to see? And all that I have discussed in one seminar like this. Of course, if the opportunity is there, once again we shall discuss those things. We should be very careful and we should be very thorough with those things. Restrictions on cooperative society. What are the restrictions that are there on cooperative societies? We have different cooperative societies or different types of cooperative societies. What are the restrictions? Regarding restrictions, I will be elaborating some points which is in my mind. So and investment of funds, that also I will cover later. And discussion on audit report draft. Before finalizing the audit report, please discuss the contents of the audit report with the management and the CEO. If they have got certain information which is against the notings or observations that is there, we may change our draft. So giving a draft report to the society is so many times it gives relief for us as well as the society, because they need not give extensive Anupalanavardi or compliance report like that. So discussion on audit draft is very important. That also we need it. And audit classification of the society, I will discuss later. Audit classification is also very important because in Savarda Act, there is no classification of societies as per ABC grade or something like that. But in credit cooperative societies, that too, in PACs and primary cooperative societies, audit classification is a must. The idea behind audit classification is very simple. Maybe so many of us we know, depending on the audit classification, the regulating authorities and financing agencies like NABARD and DCC Bank, they will decide the quantum of assistance that can be given to the society. If that society is given A or A plus or something like that, then that society will become eligible for more financing facilities. Whereas in B or B, C or something like that, they will not get that much of financial facility. And regarding the regulating authorities, it's a must. Unless they see the grading, the classification of the societies, they cannot finance. That's why in primary cooperative societies, especially those societies which are assisted by the other agencies like KMF, in case of MPCS, grading is compulsory because they get the assistance from KMF. In case of PACs, they get the assistance from DCC Bank and NABARD. Like that, it is audit classification of the society is also very important. Whereas Savarda cooperative societies, they cannot avail any financial assistance from any other agencies. That's why, other than the banks, that's why it is not insisted. But now, as a matter of fact, all cooperative societies, including Savarda societies, they are to be classified according to the certain norms that I will discuss later. We must be very familiar with Section 63 and Rule 29 of Cooperative Societies Act. These are the two things. Even Shivakumar was referring to these things. Please read very carefully. It gives the entire audit program. We should depend on this Section 63 and Rule 29 and 33 and 8 of Karnataka Savarda Sahakaris Act. Whatever there is there in Section 63 of KCS Act, the same thing is there in Section 33 of KSS Act. Likewise, Rule 29 is similar to Rule 8 of KSS Act. Those things we need to. And then study the bylaws. Bylaws very important because so many compliances and limitations are there in bylaws that we need to see. And subsidiary rules, vada niyamagalu, and business rules, vyavaharika niyamagalu, all those things we need to see. because whether they are within the powers delegated to them or is there any violation, that we need to observe and we need to comment. And circulars, guidance notes issued by the department and Savarda Federation. In case of Savarda societies, we need to refer to the guidelines issued by the Savarda Federation. Recently, it has issued the liquidity norms, Dravyasti Nirvana Margasuchi, that it is given afresh, which is effective from last April. For this year, it is effective. So we need to see those things. Whatever the guidelines, they have issued guidelines regarding branch. They have issued guidelines regarding fluid resources. They have issued guidelines regarding investment policies. Like this, they have issued many guidelines in last 1 year. So we need to refer those things. It is available in their website. And circulars issued by the cooperative department, that also we should be very careful and we should see those things. Formats prescribed by the department for different types of societies. Of course, we know there are umpteen number of types of societies, whereas 17 types of societies, they have issued the formats, and we can use, if any other societies are there, we can use the same format, which is very much similar to those things with the available formats. Now, one by one, I will be discussing very important topics that we need to see in case of cooperative societies. One thing is restriction of shareholding. Of course, there shall be a clause in bylaws restricting the number and amount of shares that a single person can hold. A society cannot allot its entire share to some very few people. Definitely, there will be restrictions in their bylaws. Under the capital clause, number of shares and restriction on shareholding each person. Usually in bylaws, whatever I have seen, no member can hold more than 5% of the share capital or shares worth more than 1 lakh rupees. That's the cap that is there in cooperative societies. All primary cooperative societies, they will be having this cap that we need to see. Of course, this may vary according to their shareholdings and their working capital and all that. Not that 1 lakh rupees is common, but usually the basic societies, they will be having 1 lakh. Once they grow up, they may increase it. Restriction on transfer of shares, that's another of these things. Of course, shares cannot be transferred in cooperative societies as in case of companies. It cannot be. A member cannot transfer any shares held by him in the capital of the societies unless he has held that share for at least 1 year. Within 1 year, he cannot transfer the share, and the transfer should take place only between the members. You cannot transfer the shares to some XYZ who is not a member. Unless he is a member, you cannot transfer the shares to him. So that's restriction is there. Even in case of death of a shareholder, the transmission will take place only if his heir or legal heir, they are shareholders. Otherwise, it has to be repaid. That restriction is there. Next, coming to the restriction on loan, a cooperative society cannot advance any loan to any person other than a member. Of course, from point of view of Cooperative Act, as well as recent developments in our Income Tax Act also, this is very important. You cannot, society cannot advance any loan to the non-members. Of course, it is valid. And to any person outside its jurisdiction. They cannot make any person who is resident outside the jurisdiction. Here the confusion is there. Some of the societies, they have advanced a loan and are made a member who has got the residential address outside its jurisdiction. But the bylaws, it is very clearly, all bylaws, they say, membership norms, who is capable of becoming member, it is very clear. ಕಾರ್ಯಪ್ರದೇಶದ ನಿವಾಸಿಯಾಗಿರುವ 18 ವರ್ಷ ಮೀರಿದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಕಾರ್ಯವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವಾಸಿಯಾಗಿರುವ, ಕಾರ್ಯವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕಾರ್ಯವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವಾಸಿಯಾಗಿರುವ. Andre, his residential address should be within the jurisdiction. He may be doing business outside, no problem. But he should dwelling place should be in within our jurisdiction. And more than 5% of working capital to a single person. So working capital, Dudiyo Bandwala. So you cannot advance more than 5% of the working capital to a single person. That is a single party exposure limit. That's there. So these are the restrictions on loans we need to bear in mind. And regarding investment of funds, of course, Bolmal sir was referring. Society cannot invest anywhere and elsewhere as it seems or as it decides. No, there is restriction. Cooperative society can invest or deposits funds only in savings banks account with the government or banks, nationalized banks, any security specified under section 20 of Indian Trust Act, that what we refer as trust securities, and then shares or security of any other registered society, registered cooperative society, say IFCOs or MAMCOs or state level societies or multi-level, multi-state cooperative societies or something like that. Any cooperative bank, DCC bank or any other cooperative bank, any scheduled banks approved by the Reserve Bank of India, any other mode permitted by the registrar from time to time. Suppose if you want to invest the funds elsewhere, you need to get the permission of your jurisdictional registrar. Usually registrar will not permit. That's why we only in these things they have to invest. They cannot invest elsewhere. And restriction of investment. A primary cooperative society cannot invest its funds in another primary cooperative society. Of course, all of us we have observed, Bolmal was referring to primary societies and secondary societies. When you admit, so the logic behind this principle is, if you want to invest in another society, you should be a member. Otherwise, that society cannot accept deposits. Accepting deposits from non-member is not permitted even for that society. It cannot make another primary cooperative society as its member because it is also another primary cooperative society. A primary cooperative society cannot admit another primary cooperative society as its member. It becomes secondary cooperative society. Like that. That's why there is a restriction. But majority of the societies I have seen, they invest in other cooperative societies also. No, it is not permitted. A cooperative society cannot invest in another institution which does not have a branch in its area of operation. Suppose if there is a mutual fund or permitted cooperative bank or something like that, which does not have a branch in its area of operation. Suppose I have got a society whose jurisdiction is Shivakumar district. Suppose if I want to invest in Saraswat Cooperative Bank, which the Bolmal sir was referring, if that bank does not have a branch in my jurisdiction, say for example Shivakumar district, I cannot invest. Though the jurisdiction of Saraswat Cooperative Bank is all over India, if it does not have a branch or place of business in my jurisdiction, I cannot invest. Please note. A cooperative society cannot invest in mutual funds, shares or debentures of a company. Of course. Prior permission from registrar is necessary to invest outside the jurisdiction, already I have discussed. And then coming to the last but not the discussion on audit draft. Please, after the completion of the audit, minor irregularities may be settled and rectified. Matters concerning policy should be discussed in detail. So if we give the audit report in draft, minor corrections may be done there itself without reporting the same thing to the general body. For minor things, you need not report to the general body. If it is not a vital thing or if it does not affect the functionality of the cooperative society as such, we need not report all those things. minor correction process, minor vouchers are not signed properly, or some silly mistakes are there, or something like that, date is not put or something like that on record. Those things we can get it corrected at the level of our audit itself. So before issuing the audit report, we can get these things corrected and we can discuss the audit report in detail. Audit report should be finalized only after discussing with the managing committee. Don't issue the audit report without discussing the same thing with the managing committee. Please discuss at least the observation that you have made. Sir, this is the profit that you are getting. These are the things that I have observed. Is it okay? I am going to report these things. You discuss with the audit management, and any improvement that you suggest, you discuss with the management. Like that. Only after finalizing discussing with the management committee, you please finalize your audit report. And regarding audit classification, as already I discussed or I narrated, after assessing the overall performance, an auditor has to award a class or grade to the society. Judgment of the auditor should be based on criteria fixed by the cooperative department. Director of cooperative audit department, they have given these things, parameters. They have given 10 parameters. According to there, you have to give the markings, and if they get this much of marks in howdu illa ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, on that basis you can award the grade. Auditor should be very careful while making the decisions relating to the grading of the society. If the management is not satisfied with the award, it may file an appeal to the director, and the director may direct to review the audit classification. Suppose the classification that we have given is B. If there is some differences of opinion with the management, then the management can approach the director. No, sir, we are eligible for A. This is the things, and we need A's classification only. Because already I told you, if it is a primary cooperative society who are banking upon the assistance of another nodal agencies or NABARD or DCC bank like that, they need this classification very much. Otherwise, already advanced portion may be recalled, or they may not be eligible for further advances, further financial facilities. So we need to be very careful in awarding this. So here also we need to be very careful. Now coming to the audit report, component of audit reports, the entire set of it is advisable to like that. It is not mandatory. Whatever I am giving, it is my suggestion. First thing is one covering letter with copies to respective persons. Of course, we need to address it to so many 5 to 6 authorities. So we need to make separate covering letters with the copies to respective persons. And then cover page for better presentation. I have seen some of the audit reports with the DD of some district. They showed me audit reports which are loose leaf and they are not properly bound and all that. So for better presentation, we can have the cover page. Yeah, if it is printed on color page, it's good. Indexation is very good, because if the audit report runs into several pages, where is the financial statement, where is the detailed audit report, where are our cover sheets, comments and all that, where is the pink sheet and all that, those things they need to know, observations. And we as a chartered accountant, it is must to give the audit report in SA 700 or as near there too. Of course, already Shivakumar has come out with the suggested format. It is beautifully drafted in Kannada, so we can adapt those things. And audit report is there. So we as chartered accountants, we need to give this certification. Of course, departmental auditor, they are not bound to give this SA 700 format, but we are chartered accountants, we need to give this one. Please issue the audit report in this format also. Financial statements, of course, are receipts and payments and income and expenditure and balance sheet with certification. Of course, the department requires the certification for the financial statement also, that we can, and notes to accounts, and then irregularities in pink sheet. The department insists that irregularities, any irregularities or comments or observations that you make, adverse observation that you make, you please furnish the same thing in pink shade so that they can just go through that one, whether to go in deep with this society or not, they can know. Otherwise, each district is flooded with so many audit reports. They will not be knowing which are the things that they need to see in each and every these things. So better we give adverse remarks in pink sheet. That's advised. And audit report as per the format that is applicable to that type of society as far as possible. And schedules and annexures as per the act. The rules have specified schedules and annexures specified. So all those annexures and schedules we need to give. Special responsibilities of a CA. As a chartered accountant, we have to adhere to the guidelines of the ICAI in audit and attestation function. We know that. And code of conduct and professional ethics, it has gone into changes frequently. I mean, recently it has gone into heavy changes here they have done. So any of these things, code of conduct, violation of code of conduct, we are subjected to disciplinary actions. So that's one. And communication to previous auditor. If the previous auditor is also a chartered accountant, it is an obligation set on us by the institute to communicate. If the previous auditor is a departmental auditor, then we need not. If the departmental auditor has done the audit of previous year's accounts, then we need not. Otherwise, if it is a chartered accountant, definitely we need to communicate with him. Please see. And not compromising with the fee structure. There are seen instances where our chartered accountants have compromised with the fee structure. Please, for we know the responsibilities of chartered accountants. Don't compromise. It is already very, very less. They have reduced the fees after the amendment of 2013 amendment. They have reduced the fees to 50%, while the responsibilities have increased manifold. Previously, we used to give only 11 annexures, mind it. Now we have to give 26 A to Z. The responsibilities have increased. Proprietary audit we have to conduct, and we have to comment on so many other things. And your audit report is redrafted with elaboration and all that, and fees is reduced. And then once again compromising with the fees. Please look into this one. Our responsibility is huge. Audit certificate in SA 700 format that I told you, mentioning the membership number and UDIN. UDIN is compulsory. All of us, we chartered accountants, we know UDIN is compulsory. For each audit report, one UDIN is compulsory. For each statement, it is not necessary, but each audit report, each society's audit report, it must contain UDIN. And adherent to accounting standards. Of course, accounting standards, they are applicable to cooperative societies also. That's why we need to see all the accounting standards, they are applicable to cooperative societies, whether they are in place or not. So expectation from the cooperative auditor, what are the expectations? Expectations of the statute, what the law, what the act expects from chartered accountants or auditors. First thing is we are qualified and having required experience. Suppose if we have grouped under A category, we have required experience of 10 years or more. Here there was a query whether it is a COP or COM, certificate of membership or certificate of practice. It is certificate of practice. It is not certificate of membership. Suppose if a person who chartered accountant who was in service with some companies, when he did not have certificate of practice, he resigned and started his practice, then his this one start from the day when he gets the certificate of practice. It is not when he gets qualified from as a chartered accountant. Okay, so that's the thing, and he is qualified for audit. He is qualified because there were instances where CA in bracket they have audited certain cooperative societies. CA in bracket, I think all of us we know. who has completed either inter or final, one group is pending or something like that, they put CA in bracket and they they have actually, they in the first instance when the empanelment process was done for the first time in 2013, there were some non-chartered accountants, non-qualified chartered accountants. First, so statute expects you are qualified as a chartered accountant. You have got required experience to audit that society, and you are impaneled. You are empaneled in the list of auditors. Just because you are qualified and you have got the practice for more than 10 years, you cannot audit the cooperative societies unless you are there in the empanel list. You cannot accept it. So you are empaneled, and he is eligible to get the appointment as statutory auditor of the society because he is not disqualified. Suppose if I am disqualified by the department regarding one of the societies, then I cannot audit any other societies in that year. So that also we should be very careful. This is the expectation, and he is well versed with cooperative acts and bylaws of the society. That is the expectation of the statute. And then he is capable of, here you see, the another thing is the expectation of statute. He is capable of smelling, identifying, quantifying any type of irregularities and improprieties. Because it is a proprietary audit, you should be capable of smelling, identifying, and that means you should know the business. Unless you know the business of your client, you cannot audit. So you should know the business tactics and business procedures and all that. Then any deviations that is there, you can just smell it or identify quantify the irregularities. He is well aware of the power of officers regarding loan, investment, borrowings, and advancing of the funds. We chartered accountants, we should know. We should go through their niyamagalu, subsidiary rules. What are the powers that is there within their limits and bylaws? So how much single party exposure, how much they can give, and most of the societies they will be having limits for each kind of loans. Jaminu Sala, more than 25,000, they cannot give the demand loans. It is specified in the bylaw or Niyamagalu subsidiary rules, but they are advancing more than that. Like that, we should see the powers of the officers. We can check thoroughly the books and records of the society according to standard auditing practices. We have SAPs. We can check thoroughly the books and records. Like that, we can have even. Sorry. We can have test check. It is not compulsory that we should go through the all vouchers for 365 days of all the branches like that. We can test check. That's a random verification is also permitted. But you should decide before. That's why I told you before making the audit plan, you should decide how far I have to go in this society's case. How in depth you have to go and all that. So no loans to non-members, no deposits from non-members, loan is given within the prescribed limit, and physically examined. Here, assets of the societies are to be physically examined by the auditor. All other these things, you can get these confirmations for deposits and loans and other things, you can get the confirmations. But for fixed assets, you have to physically examine. He adopts different methods of auditing for different kinds of societies. Of course, different methods of audit is necessary for different kinds of societies. For credit cooperative societies and banks, we have to see the loans are given for proper objects and periods and adequate security as per the bylaws and rules. For credit cooperative societies, we need to see the loans aspect. Whereas in agricultural marketing societies, we have to see that the agricultural marketing society bylaws, they say it is not just marketing society, they are processing societies. Unless you process, you involve in some process of grading or pooling or something like that, then whether those activities are undertaken or not, that we have to see. They are not supposed to have, act just as a commission agents. No. In cooperative sector, that restriction is there. No agriculture marketing cooperative societies are permitted to act just as commission agents. No. They have to involve themselves in some of the agricultural process, like grading or pooling or something like that. And in case of farming societies, he has to see that lands have been pooled and cultivated. Joint cultivation farming societies are there. That we have to see. In other societies, we have to see that business is conducted on proper lines in accordance with the cooperative principles, and that all canons of business and financial propriety are being duly observed. So these are the things that we need to see in case of different kinds of societies. So in all cooperative societies, cooperative principles are adhered. That's we need to verify. We need to ascertain how far the objectives, because there is a clause in our cooperative system. Our ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳ ಈಡೇರುವಿಕೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟಿಪ್ಪಣಿ. So ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳ ಈಡೇರುವಿಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಟಿಪ್ಪಣಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. Then we need to see whether their objectives are followed up, whether they have taken the activities in accordance with their objectives or something like that. That we need to see. And then it is not necessarily in terms of profit, but in terms of extending benefits to the members who have formed the society. See, of course, the intention of the cooperative society is a profit-making society. So intention of the society is to make profit, but not at the cost of benefits to members. That's what we have to see. It's a cooperative society. Act expects the auditor to report whether he has obtained all the information. These are the usual things that we need to see in our audit report, whether the balance sheet or in profit and loss account or in agreement with the books of accounts and all that. We need to see. These are the Act expects auditors to report. Previous slides, I have shown what are the things that we need to verify. Here, what are the things that we need to report. So these are the things we need to report. Responsibility of the auditor, cooperative auditor, is not merely to check and certify the correctness of the balance sheet and profit and loss account, but has to examine many other things, because it is a proprietary audit. So cooperative audit embraces all circumstances. That's what Shivakumar was referring. He has referred to so many aspects that we need to cover in case of cooperative audit. So it embraces all the circumstances which determine the general position of this society and its achievements, whether it is upgrading or downgrading. So these are the things. And coming to the last aspect, that's the common mistakes of a cooperative auditor. As a chartered accountant, I am referring to the common mistakes. Appointment by management committee, not by general body, but still we have conducted the audit. Even now, there are instances where the general body empowers the board of management to appoint the auditor. No, it is void. If you are appointed by the general body, then it is valid. If you are appointed by any body other than the general body, or in certain cases, the departmental audit, cooperative department, audit department, that is okay. Otherwise, the society has to appoint you only in the general body. If there is something wrong with the appointment or something like that, then you have to insist upon special general body. Please insist that special general body is conducted and you are appointed. Audit is accepted even when not there in the audit empanel list. Of course, that we should see. If we are not in the empanel list, then we cannot accept. Audit should be accepted only by after communicating with the auditor. So that's another thing. And then audit commenced without the consent letter and audit engagement letter given to the society. First, you issue consent letter. It is a part of our documentation. It serves many purposes in later stage. If any differences comes, this is one of the important documents that we can bank upon. Audit accepted without even knowing that there is a previous audits are not done. And society is advised to get the previous audits done by the auditor appointed by the registrar. There are some cases, I have come into this one. In one cooperative society which was not audited by anybody for the last 3 years, the registrar of cooperative society, he ordered cooperative society to get the audit done by so and so person. But without bringing those things to the knowledge, it has appointed for the current year, it has appointed one chartered accountant. That chartered accountant has to verify previous audit have been completed or not. If the previous audits have not been completed, then you are not supposed to take the audit. And one more information here itself, if the audits are pending for more than 1 year, then we need to conduct the audit separately for each year and give the separate report. There are instances where you are appointed for 3 years or more. In some extreme conditions, even Department of Cooperative Audit, they have permitted to conduct the audit of 3 or 4 years. But there also, you have to give the report year by year, not consolidating all the years put together. For 2 reasons, because it is a year-wise audit, that Act expects year-wise audit. And secondly, if you consolidate all the years in one report, then you cannot charge the fees also according to year-wise. You can get the audit fees for only 1 year. That's also there. Audit rectification report of our previous year is not called or verified. In the sense, audit compliances. ಅನುಪಾಲನಾ ವರದಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. Unless we go through the rectification report, we cannot ascertain whether the previous audit report observations are persisting, they are continued. Because we have got a restriction, we need to report. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ನಾವು, ನಮಗೆ ಹಿಂದಿನ ವರ್ಷದ ನ್ಯೂನತೆಗಳು, ಗಂಭೀರ ನ್ಯೂನತೆಗಳು ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? If you want to say no, you need to get a certified copy of the ಅನುಪಾಲನಾ ವರದಿ. Otherwise, you cannot, like that. Audit is conducted without reading bylaws and applicable to society, and system-generated printouts are not called for. That we need to be very strict. And exercise of comparative analysis of current year's expenses and incomes. This is the prudence that we need to exercise. So we need to compare whether there is variance, whether there is variation with huge differences and all that. And inadequate provision should be commented. Suppose if there is a loan, there are loans which are due, NPA or something like that, enough provision should be made. And even for receivables also provision should be made. Objections not raised for slashed up expenses and suspense ledger not inquired upon. Of course, there are cooperative societies are very shrewd enough to have the suspense account. Although continuous, it will be maintained for years long together. And if you ask any questions, they say, no, sir, it has been continuing for the last 6 to 7 years or even 12 years. I don't know the where it has come out, which year it relates to and all that. So we have to see that suspense ledgers are nullified every year. Bank balance confirmations, we need to see bank reconciliation statements, and physical FDs are to be verified with the investments register. There are certain circumstances where they say we have so and so deposits in so and so banks. Actually, they should have withdrawn that amount without the knowledge of the others. But if you verify the physically, if you verify the certificates, and even if you can call for certification, external confirmation from the concerned banks and all that, that also it is very much necessary. And major contracts entered into by the society is not inquired or filed, not verified. Suppose if it enters into major contracts for building or something like that, or any other contracts, we need to verify those contracts or MOUs or something like that. And minutes books, it is 100%. It is our secretarial job that we need to see, as Shivakumar was putting in. TDS ledger we need to see. These are the things. Commonly we are not doing justice to these areas. This is the complaint that we are getting as a cooperative auditors, chartered accountants. So friends, and one more thing. In the year of election, we need to comment on the elections and its procedures. That's also very important. And draft report, I have already discussed, and management representation and not putting membership number, audit number and all that. Okay, these are the things. Now, coming to the last aspect, rectification of errors pointed out in the audit report. Cooperative audit is not merely critical, it is curative also. Suppose if the audit report we contain, we have reported certain things, we should not only critically analyze, but we should mention the curative measures also. Auditor of just by pointing out the errors, it is not this thing. That's why audit report on the last class. Any other suggestions? You need to suggest the good things that they can implement, positive things. It is therefore necessary that the society follows up with the suggestions made and the defects are cured. And lastly, suggestions. Finalize the financial statements keeping in view these requirements of GST and IT. Of course, as a cooperative auditor, you need not look into GST and IT aspects. But as a chartered accountant, please go through their GST details if they are registered under GST. And many of the societies they are not registered under GST at all, because we have advised them not to go for GST registration. There are confusions even amongst chartered accountants whether the aggregate turnover of a cooperative society is 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs. Please remember, it is 20 lakhs only, it is not 40 lakhs. Aggregate turnover for GST registration for cooperative societies, it is 20 lakhs only, because they are involving in service activities. Only pure supplier of goods, for them it is 40 lakhs. If they are involved in any activities like credit or something like that, it is 20 lakhs only. There are certain circumstances, instances wherein the chartered accountant, they have advised that you have got limit up to 40 lakhs. No. And accounting and filing of returns and all that, it is very much necessary. That may be addressed in during the GST and IT sessions in the coming days. We need not alter any entries in the figures in the books of account. We need to suggest the alterations and they have to make it. There are circumstances wherein we have built up the balance sheet and we have signed the report, whereas opening balances differ from the books of accounts. We have seen. Finalize the audit only after the adjustment and closing entries passed in the books of accounts. You suggest the entries to be passed, let them pass and let them come out with the final balance sheet or final trial balance or something like that. Then and last but not the least is train all your staff who are involved in the process of cooperative audit. Unless we train our assistants who are going to the cooperative audit, if they commit mistakes, the blame is on us. So please, whether it is your articles or audit assistants or something like that, then please guide them properly, you train them properly in cooperative audit and let them know the cooperative acts and laws and all that. Then only they can do justice to the job wherein you can safely sign your balance sheet. With this, I will conclude my session. I have taken 3 to 4 minutes more. I think if there are any questions, I would like to answer. Are there any questions, ma'am? Friends, I will conclude this one. I will stop sharing.
Manish, any questions are there? Manish? Manish, you are there? Or Suraj? Any questions on the chat box? I'm not able to see anything here.
One question.
Question is there? Just please read out.
Yeah, there are some questions. Do we need to contact for no objection even in the departmental auditor? No, I have very categorically said if the audit is conducted by the departmental auditor in the previous year, we need not. The contacting the previous auditor is the requirement for a chartered accountant cast on us by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It is not cooperative department that is making it mandatory. It is mandatory for chartered accountants. If the previous audit is conducted by the departmental auditor, we need not contact him. Where will we get the recent circulars and notifications? Sir, one thing, you can approach the DDs, all DDs, they can give the circulars and notifications, and you can approach the state level bodies, whether it is, if it is Cooperative Bank, Banking Federation has got all circulars. If it is Savarda Federation has got all the circulars and notifications. If it is Cooperative Department, you can approach Sakar Sindhu or Sakar Darpada, there you can get. And most of the circulars we have shared in COPU audit group also, there also you can get it. And then please share the PPT soft copy. Definitely, we will be sharing the PPT soft copy with the organizers. They can share with you people, no problem. Yeah, so then only I think these are the questions, sir. President, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all to Divya.
Sir, before concluding, I would like to thank the organizers, Bangalore branch, and all those connected, including Divya madam, for helping me and helping us to present whatever the little knowledge that we had shared with you people. So I thank all the organizers as well as the participants. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much. You are always welcome. You are the reason we are able to conduct this program. Your
Thank you.
contribution is immense. Thank you very much. Over to
Thank
Divya.
you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear members, on behalf of Bangalore branch of SIRC of ICI, I take this opportunity as a secretary to propose formal vote of thanks for today's first day workshop on cooperative audits. I thank our chief guest of today's program, CA Shivakumar, for sparing his valuable time and sharing his experiences and knowledge with us. I also wholeheartedly thank both the speakers of today's program, CA Umesh Bolmal sir and CA Raveendranath BV sir. Thank you so much, sir, on behalf of the entire management committee and also on behalf of entire participants of the program. Thank you so much for being part of this. And members, it's a pleasure to host all of you. And without all of you, we couldn't do anything. This is our pride to conduct programs for you. Thank you so much for being part of the programs and making the event successful. We wish to see you tomorrow also for the second day workshop, 4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Take care, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.